You're fired, Pam. I like you, but you're fired.
Please, sir, don't fire me. I'll suck your...
That's okay, don't worry. We will tell the public you're getting a special higher position in the private sector. Should be beautiful. You're fired, Pam. I like you, but you're fired.
Please, sir, don't fire me. I'll suck your...
That's okay, don't worry. We will tell the public you're getting a special higher position in the private sector. Should be beautiful.
Well, what do you think? You guys think that's exactly how the meeting went between Trump and Pam Bondi? Is that what we think? Possibly. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Happy Thursday night. Sorry about hit the like button and maybe Jim will come faster. I'm here, but I apologize about last night. Things arose. I couldn't get a stream together, and it is what it is. But stuff just happens. Let's see who's here tonight. Wow, man, I got a whole bunch of people. Whoa, man. Oh, man, a whole bunch of people here. Lurch Linger, what's up? Tap that like button. Great to see you. SB Farmers, awesome having you here. Doc number 27 is always great to have you around. Yes. Mr. Sneaky Sean, good to see you. None of your business, awesome. What the F? How's it going? Hello, Jim and chat. Woo, what a great day. Yeah, it's a good day. Karen O, hey, how's it going? Brian Ogden, one of my good friends here. Bondi was an unexpected mood, very overdue. If Todd produces, it's him. If not, I have no clue. We're going to have to wait and see. I don't know. They're talking about Lee Zeldin. They're talking about some other people. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, Blondie needed to go. Yes, she did. That's right. Karen O, ding, ding, Pam is gone. That's right. All right. Miss Hacker, how you doing? Great to see you. All right. Jay Schwartz, hey, what's up? No problem. I love spending time with you guys. Delay is obvious is here. What's up, Delay? Awesome seeing you. Thanks for being here. Renee Collins, awesome to see you here. Woodham, what's up, man? Long time no see. Jim says, as he is. Yes, that's right. Karen, oh, yes. Tom Bravo's here. It's time for the greatest news show on the interwebs. Well, thank you. That's very important. Thank you very much. It's very, very high praise. I hope I can live up to it. Why does my chair feel weird? Someone messing with my chair again? G Sharkman, awesome seeing you. And Liz, what's up, Liz? Linz, Great to see you. NASCAR Mo, awesome having you here. Joe's here. What's up, Joe? Awesome Lightning fan. No way DJT refused that offer. Could have. Jim never apologized. No, I apologize when I'm wrong, when something happens. Pajama top? No, this is a silk shirt, dude. I don't know why you say pajama top. Who wears silk pajamas? You slide all over the bed. You got silk sheets, silk pajamas. It's just like, man, that wouldn't work, man. Wheezy Bob, what's up? Awesome having you here. Thanks for being here. Hamburger Helper, good to see you. Terry, awesome. Wood Tick Mike's here too. What's up? Awesome. KPT, awesome to have you. All right. Hugh Hefner's dead. Is he? Hugh Hefner's dead? He's been dead for a while, hasn't he? I think he's been dead for a while. Anyway, so we got some news tonight. As everybody knows, that's going to be the big story. Pam Bondi fired. We'll get into that in a second. Somebody's been messing with my chair. I don't know. Who has silk sheets? Me? Who doesn't have silk sheets? I thought everybody had silk sheets. Anyway, well, wow. Anyway, hey, how you doing? My name's Jim, and I'm going to tell you some news. I do this little show. It lasts about 2 hours, 2.5 hours every night, somewhere between 2.5 hours. Unless, of course, we hit the goal, which is for every $100 in total that comes in across all platforms, YouTube, Super Chats, Rumble, Rants, Cash App, PayPal, Coffee, Ko-Fi, and Super Tips, along with Locals coins and gifted memberships on YouTube and Rumble, or becoming members on YouTube, Rumble, or gifting memberships on Twitch or Kick, or becoming members on Twitch or Kick, all that stuff. Add it all up, and when we hit 100, we add an extra hour to the show. And then for every 100 that comes in, we add an additional extra hour to the show. So the show could be as long as you want it to be. It could be 2 hours, 3 hours, 4, 5, 6, you name it. And then as an added bonus, what I like to do is when we hit 50, I like to activate Bellavision for the evening. There's Bella. She's just chilling out. All right. And that's when we hit 50. Bella gets activated. But what I like to do also is if any individual person gives $25 or greater, an individual donation, then we automatically activate Bellavision for the entire evening. That chair has been trying to cripple you since the day you bought it. Yes, but someone was messing with it. No, Bella wasn't messing with my chair. I think I think my grandson was in here messing around with my chair because it's doing things and moving in ways it's not supposed to move. Yeah, somebody unlocked it. All right, somebody unlocked it. That's part of the problem. Can't stay all night, Dr. Time, so I started up. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for the $2. With that means we are now just $98 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and $48 away from Bellavision for the evening. So thank you, Joe, for starting us off. Mm-hmm. Oh, and then look, we got 5. The audio is breaking up. It's glitchy. Oh my God. Is it really? Is it? I think it's my computer. There was an update. Something's happening with the audio. You had to reload. I hope it's not me. There was an update today for Microsoft, and now things are acting weird. I'm moving stuff on the screen, and it's like delaying and then jumping. So I hope it's not. I don't know how I would fix it. But then we got another 5 from Brian Ogden. Thank you, Brian Ogden. So with that means we are now $93 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much, Brian Ogden. And $43 away from Bellavision. Mm-hmm. Audio is fine. No, it's fine. Okay. I got worried. It's good. Okay. All right. Oh, look at this. I got another 2 from Terry. Thank you so much, Terry. Means we are now 91 away from adding a first additional hour to the show and just 41 away from Bellavision. So let's jump into it, right? Audio is okay. I closed out YouTube and reopened it. All's well. All right. I was getting worried because, like I said, there was an update today. So that chair is a Russian spy. Son of a bitch is trying to kill me. So let's do this. Let's get into this first news story, which everybody knows what it's going to be. It's going to be about Miss Bondi got fired. Bondi out as Attorney General, replaced interim by Todd Blanche. Now, a lot of people are making... sounds fine to me, but I'm not a connoisseur. Why do upgrades always seem like downgrades? I hate the mystery reboots. You ain't kidding. You ain't kidding. I had my first crash of this new computer. It's a brand new computer that I got in the end of November, like first week of December, something like that. Brand new, very, very expensive computer. It crashed for the first time after that update. Dan back to the private sector and making millions. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, she's going to do that. That's what she's going to do. Pam Bondi's out as Attorney General, according to Fox News. Fox News reported that Pam Bondi met with President Trump on Wednesday night and before the Iran speech. Oh, look at this. Audio is good from Nana. Thank you, Nana. Wow. So that very, very extremely generous $20 from Nana, that puts us now to $71 away from adding an hour to the show and 21 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. Your bloody updates. Oh, they suck. Yeah. First, Microsoft fires all the quality assurance teams and starts vibe coding Windows updates. What could go wrong? Yeah. You ain't kidding. Bondi has already flown back to her home in Florida. The president has reportedly discussed replacing Bondi with EPA Chief Lee Zeldin. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche will replace Bondi in the interim. Breaking colleague Peter Ducey reports AG Bondi will be leaving her position and she will be replaced in the interim by Deputy AG Todd Blanche. Yeah. As opposed to Blanche from the Golden Girls. Let's see. Windows update trashed my dual boot enough times that I had to take away its Wi-Fi keys. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why it's a problem. Like, honestly, I've been seriously thinking about just going to Ubuntu or whatever it's called. Yeah, Ubuntu, or what's the other one? There's another one that's like an open source. President Trump reportedly has already fired Attorney General Bondi, according to two sources familiar with the matter. Linux. I made a move to Linux. That's what I was thinking of. Linux. Unix. Yeah, I was thinking of, because Ubuntu, I think, is Linux based, right? I think so. Bondi met with Trump in the Oval Office Wednesday night ahead of his speech to the nation on the war in Iran, where she reportedly was informed of her ouster, according to two sources familiar with the matter. Bondi was banging Fart Man and leaking information to him. That's what I'm hearing. That she had, like, I don't know. I saw somewhere, but I haven't been able to verify it, so I don't even know if I should say it. But I saw, I'll just say it anyway. I saw somewhere that she went to school with Swalwell. I don't know if they mean college or, which I thought she was much older than him, but I don't know if it was college or law school that she went to school with them. I don't know if that's true, and that's how she knows them, that they're supposedly close personal friends. Fart Man. Eric Swalwell, Fart Man. One of those sources said at the time by the time Trump took his place behind the podium for the address, Bondi already lost her job and was on her way back to Florida. Trump is reportedly considering replacing Bondi with Environmental Protection Agency Director Lee Zeldin, according to sources familiar with the matter. Trump held a meeting with Zeldin at the White House Tuesday to discuss wildfire and prevention, where talks of the transition also unfolded, according to an individual familiar with the matter. Eric Swalwell, yeah. I never had the time to get into Linux. Wish I had. Yes, they're all pervs. Yeah, they are. They're all sickos. The source relayed to Fox News Digital that Zeldin would be a plausible replacement, adding that Trump could change his mind at any point. Pam Bondi led this department with strength and conviction. I'm grateful for her leadership and friendship, Blanche said in a statement. Thank you to President Trump for the trust and opportunity to serve as acting Attorney General. We'll continue backing the blue, enforcing the law, and doing everything in our power to keep America safe. Yeah, Fartwell is 45, Blondie is 60. That's what I thought. So I don't know why. How they became such good friends, because it doesn't seem like they would have been in school at the same time. Linux, Mint, or Cinnamon able to use it just by using Windows all the years, and everything. All I do is browser based. Okay. Swalwell's my representative. I told you guys I'm not represented here. Okay. It's all connected now, more scarier than ever. Yeah. Good evening, Jim. Can you play Viva's interview with Joe Kent during your live stream? Definitely pretty revealing. I can't. I can't play it. That would be a copyright infringement. Ubuntu is what I've been going with. From inside there, you can go with either GNU or KDE. Fox News reporter Peter Ducey said Pam Bondi will transition to another role in the Trump administration. Pam Bondi will soon step down as Attorney General, transitioning to another role within the administration. What role is that? What role is that?
Kaylee, I just got off the phone with President Trump. We have a big scoop. Pam Bondi will soon leave her job as the Attorney General. She is going to get a different job within the administration. It doesn't sound like there is any bad blood between her and President Trump, but it does seem like they want her to go and do something else. And in an interim role, she will be replaced by Todd Blanche, who is currently her deputy at the Justice Department. So it doesn't sound like Blanche is being elevated long term to the Attorney General. There might be somebody else that the president wants to go in there. But President Trump soon will announce to the entire world that it is the end of Pam Bondi's time as the Attorney General. He still thinks that she is a great person and that she did a good job. And he still wants her in the fold because she will still be an important part of the administration, he tells me, but no longer as the top law enforcement officer of the United States. That, at least for a little while, is going to be Todd Blanche.
Yeah, private sector isn't government. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. I heard she was going back in the private sector, that she had a job offer already somewhere. So who knows? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, CBS News is reporting that Bondi will be placed in another role in the administration. On Wednesday night, CNN and New York Times reported that President Trump was mulling firing her over the handling of the Epstein file release. Well, not necessarily what it's over. New York Times reported Trump has been frustrated with Pam Bondi's leadership at the DOJ. President Trump has discussed firing Attorney General Bondi in recent days as he grows frustrated with her leadership at the Justice Department. He's floated the idea of replacing her with Lee Zeldin. So it's just breaking news stuff right there. That was kind of breaking stuff. We'll go to this. The New York Post just says, Pam Bondi speaks out for the first time after Trump fired her. She will probably be covering Doge's ass, maybe. Blanche to AG, Bondi to special prosecutor for a third-party law firm. It's possible. It's possible. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Trump thought he picked good people. These people are losers. Didn't like the tariffs either. It says Bondi's top 5 memorable moments. Oh, I don't know. Is there top 5 memorable moments for Bondi? I mean, this is a long video.
So I really have just one question for you. How many of Epstein's co-conspirators have you indicted? How many perpetrators are you even investigating?
First, you showed it. I find it.
How many have you indicted?
Excuse me. I'm going to answer the question.
Answer my question.
No, I'm going to answer the question the way I want to answer the question.
No,
Your
you're going to answer the
theatrics are
question the way I
ridiculous.
asked it.
Chairman
How many have you
Jordan, I'm
indicted?
not going to get in the gutter with these people,
How many
but
have you-
I'm going to answer the question.
How many have you indicted?
Again, the time
You're
belongs to
claiming
the,
my time.
the time
I
belongs.
think it's very
Reclaiming
interesting.
my time.
I think it's very
Reclaiming my time.
interesting.
And you can
that
reclaim
he
your
talks
time,
about
but
they
reclaiming my
indicted.
All right, we're not going to watch this. We saw this stuff, but former Attorney General Pam Bondi spoke out after being fired from her perch as the head of the Justice Department. It says, leading President Trump's historic and highly successful efforts to make America safe and more secure has been an honor of a lifetime. GNOME touchscreen input caused a favorite software to crash, and under KDE it doesn't. Okay. I remain eternally grateful for the trust President Trump placed in me to make America safe again. She's not looking too good in that picture. I don't know. Trump's decision to axe Bondi came weeks after making the first cabinet-level firing when he terminated former Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, who's now serving as special envoy to the Shield of Americas. Bondi is getting a new private sector role where she will be allied with the administration, but details of that position are not fully clear. So I don't know. So in the meantime, Trump has tapped Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche to serve as interim AG while he decides on a permanent replacement. Hey, Sunshine's here. What's up? Awesome to see Sunshine here. Hope you're feeling better. Everyone, ooh, just in time to hear Bondi. I hope to never hear her voice again. You and me both. She really did nothing but go on TV. Yeah, that's all she did. She looks more tired and like she's lost weight. Yeah. I will be working tirelessly to transition the Office of Attorney General to the amazing Todd Blanche before moving to an important private sector role I am thrilled about. Well, I heard that she already left for Florida. So how is she transitioning anything? You remember when Nadler weighed about double what he does now? Yeah. Trump told Bondi in person on Wednesday that she was on the outs, a source previously told the Post. That conversation took place after two attended the Supreme Court's oral arguments in the Birthright citizen case earlier that day. It says, over the next month, I'll be working tirelessly to transition. They said she already left and was on her way to Florida yesterday. So how is she doing anything? Bondi, who served as Florida's Attorney General from 2011 to 2019, was a key ally of Trump in the 2020 election aftermath, had been the president's second choice to helm the DOJ after former Rep. Matt Gaetz withdrew. Yeah, so now the Dems are focusing their hate on Tulsi. Yeah, I heard other people saying that Tulsi's the next to go. What has Tulsi done wrong to go? She quickly faced controversy after claiming on Fox News that a list of late sex predator Jeffrey Epstein's clients was sitting on my desk right now to review. Later, MAGA influencers were welcomed to the White House and given binders titled Epstein Files Phase 1. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles later told Vanity Fair in an interview that Bondi completely whiffed the Epstein situation, chiding that there's no client list and sure as hell wasn't on her desk. Chuck Taylor, what's up? I used to love wearing Chuck Taylors. I'm quitting my 10-year career as a union cement mason to join the Navy as a CB construction worker with an M4. My recruiter told me I can start as an E5 because of my experience. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. CBs, you have a lot of fun as CBs. Yep. That's awesome, Chuck Taylor. Trump, who famously had a falling out with the AGs of his first term, Jeff Sessions and Bill Barr, appeared frustrated with the DOJ's lackluster attempt to prosecute some of his political foes. No, prosecute criminals. We want to see people go to jail. That's what we want. We want criminals to go to jail. We want criminals to go to jail. Trump confirms Pam Bondi's out as Attorney General. Our Deputy Attorney General, a very talented, respected legal mind, will step in to serve as Acting Attorney General. So, Great American Patriot. Murderers plummeting to their lowest level since 1900. Hi, all. Trump said that Tulsi didn't agree with the Iran actions taken. So that's not a reason to fire her. Yeah, CBs are a fun group. Yeah, it's called accountability. Yeah. I don't get it. Hey, Jonathan Marcus, great to see you. I'm sorry I didn't see your message on X until today, but I accepted it. So now if you want to message me something, you go right ahead. I didn't see it. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So Great American Patriot, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. Trump's post came minutes after Peter Doocy at the Fox News broadcast, the contents of the phone call he had with Trump. So he gave Doocy the scoop. I cannot find any information regarding why Trump let go of Bondi. Well. Derek Hunter isn't wrong with these posts. I wonder if FBI Director Kash Patel will be next. There have been no major victories for the American people under the DOJ or FBI in the last year. Bad leadership at both is responsible. I don't know. I don't know about all that. There's very little time left to do anything. Post Millennial just has the same thing. Bondi out. Todd Blanche moving as intern. You agree with Tulsi? I mean, what does that say if someone's going to fire somebody just because they had a disagreement? She still did her job, right? She still did her job. She didn't go out and bash him or say anything. She didn't run around behind his back talking shit or nothing. So don't you want people that'll give you a little pushback, give you this what they think is a straight dope, That's how you get the best decisions made. You don't have a bunch of people just going, yes, 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 yes. You get people say, well, I think maybe this might be a bad idea, and here's why. And you go, but you make the decisions, and I'll back your decision because Tulsi's testified that President Trump made the decision. She gave him the information, he made the decision, and that's his decision to make. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. Truthuses. That's the truthuses. That's the truth-isms or something. Wow. Most likely done behind the scenes, da, maybe. Oh, 007, maybe. So let's do this. On to this next story, this is a great article I read, and Tulsi telling the civvies don't need AR-15s. Yeah, that was a mistake to say that. I think supposedly she's changed her mind on that now, but I don't know. So Democrats blocking confirmation of Trump's U.S. attorney nominees is clear evidence they are obstructing a duly elected president's ability to execute his duties. I mean, this is part of the problem. This is why stuff's not getting done, is because I think like a third or more of the U.S. attorneys are actually all Democrats, or Democrat people that were put in there by the judges. It takes a special breed to swim in the swamp or nominate. Just the first try never made it for that far. There are 94 federal judicial districts, each with a U.S. attorney, and the confirmation results after 14 months proves Democrats adopted partisan obstruction as the response to the election. I mean, the thing is, are the Republicans going to return a favor? No, they never do. This crap happens all the time, and the Republicans never go, okay, well, it's on next time. As soon as you get a Democrat president, we're just going to block everything we can. Elections have consequences, as the saying goes. A traditional response to the party on the losing side has always been at least some period of introspection, followed by public discussion on why the electorate sided with the opposition on policy preferences. Opposition to the new president's policies is expected, but when the audience is the court of public opinion. The Democrats have enjoyed some success in this regard as they have made political issues out of the manner in which immigration and border enforcement has been pursued, downsizing of the federal workforce, and bringing of independent agencies under the authority of the executive branch. Well, there is no such thing as an independent agency. Yeah, Republicans take it and always say thank you. Yeah. But the demon rats in this age of Trump have normalized and pressed an unacceptable degree of blatant partisan obstruction of the functioning of the executive branch by refusing to even participate in the process for confirming hundreds of executive branch officials subject to the advising consent clause of the Constitution. The Senate's own rules are being used as a vehicle to orchestrate this obstruction, but it is obstruction nonetheless. The Russia hoax was a Democrat-backed and run resistance to the Trump 1.0 in 2018, keeping policy changes bottled up while the interference in the election by foreign actors was investigated by Congress and a special counsel. President Trump was new to politics. His cabinet was full of people he didn't know but were recommended to him by others. And in the first few months were an exercise of learning on the job. The White House was tied up by the constant drumbeat of accusations amplified by a hostile press and the never-Trump contingent in the GOP establishment. So glad Trump fired her. It's about time. Hey, Muffin Rando, awesome seeing you here. Great seeing you here. Pesky Citizen Chris says, our government has turned into a game of whose line is it anyway. There's no rules and the points don't matter. Yeah. It's terrible. To the extent there was any through policy changes to be brought about in the first 6 months, the war on the administration from the inside and out reduced it to a state of paralysis. That has all but stymied any plans that Trump came to office with. The obstruction is bad, but worse is the MAGA people thinking Trump is not keeping his promises when every single thing gets a lawsuit into the delay in courts. That division and stupidity loses elections. Yeah. Always good to see you. Lurking most of the time on replay. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate it. Yes, Joe, agreed. Agreed with Joe, definitely. But for Trump 2.0, the new administration was far ahead of the demon rats when it came to having policy changes lined up and ready to go on day one, and immediately acted to address internal resistance by holdover Biden bureaucrats to those changes. The demon rat response was to block and hinder the administration's efforts to confirm GOP appointees to various posts requiring Senate confirmation. The demon rats in the Senate began Trump 2.0 by playing the same card they played at times during Trump 1.0, requiring full debate and roll call votes on every nominee brought to the Senate floor. The rules of the Senate provide that it can only do one thing on the floor at a time, and only when there is a quorum present. So repeated quorum calls to ensure the presence of a quorum are employed, keeping some senators from leaving to attend other business. Historically, non-controversial nominees at sub-cabinet level have been approved by either unanimous consent or by voice vote that takes only seconds. But both are subject to objection by the minority party, and Senate rules must be followed. That means the maximum allowable time for debate before moving on to the vote, confirmation, and then a roll call vote by all senators that can take 15 to 30 minutes to complete. These demon rats employed this tactic while in the minority in Trump 1.0, but not as a blanket approach to nearly all Trump nominees. With nearly 1,400 positions requiring Senate approval, the tactic used by the demon rats made it nearly impossible for the Senate to conduct other Senate business. Majority Leader Thune finally put it in place a solution. Blocks of nominees would be voted on as part of a single package in one roll call vote. This allows him to combine dozens of nominees who have been passed out of committees, including DOJ officials, U.S. attorneys, to be confirmed without tying up the Senate for days and weeks conducting individual roll call votes. Yeah, still no recess appointments. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah, well, that's Thune screwing around. Muffin Rando, he lets it in. He may lose the Florida Cubans. That's not exaggeration. So Russia is sending another tanker to Cuba, testing Trump's resolve. Oh, that's what you're talking about. So the demon rats changed tactics. They would try to prevent as many nominees as possible from getting on a committee to be voted on by the full Senate. There are 94 federal judicial districts, and by law, each has to have a Senate-confirmed nominee to serve as U.S. attorney. The traditional process followed by the Senate is that nominees by the president are submitted to the Judiciary Committee for background investigations and hearings. Then the committee votes. A nominee is passed out of the committee to a full Senate only after receiving a vote by a majority in favor of the nominee. Tie votes fail to advance of the committee, and the nomination is dead. The current composition of the Judiciary Committee is 11-9 in favor of the GOP, but one of the 11 is infamously anti-Trump Senator from North Carolina, Tom Tillis. His friction with President Trump and the White House is such that months ago he announced he would not seek re-election. The double-edged nature of the announcement, however, is that he is free to oppose the administration without consequence to his electoral prospects back in North Carolina. That means the demon rats on the committee have a quasi-ally in their efforts to slow down staffing of the DOJ. There's a long-standing Senate tradition that Chuck Grassley, chairman of the Judiciary Committee, refuses to abandon. It's called the blue slip. Because whenever a nominee is forwarded to the committee by the White House for U.S. Attorney and U.S. Marshal, the committee sends a blue slip notice to the two senators. The committee will not bring a nominee up for vote until both senators return their blue slip indicating they have no objection to the committee's consideration of the nominee. This is the biggest joke of them all. Thune is the reason that Comey walked proved me wrong. No, I agree. Senators from opposing parties are expected to try to influence a president of the opposition party's selection of the U.S. Attorney for districts in their home state. This dynamic is at work regardless of which party is in the White House and which party is the minority. The choice is one that will personally impact senators' constituents, while the opposing party is in the White House. But at the end of the day, the choice belongs to the president. Yes, they want majority vote. That's right. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, and the blue slip, definitely. Thank you so much, Brian Ogden. That means right now we are now $66 away from adding the first additional hour to the show and $16 away from Bellavision. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Joe, isn't Iran a war, and didn't they attack us? Did they recently? For the first time ever, the demon rats in the Senate have made near blanket use of their prerogatives under the blue slip process to simply block President Trump from having his selections confirmed by the Senate. For months, the Trump administration has been in a running fight with district court judges in a variety of federal districts over the lawful authority to appoint persons to temporarily serve as the role of U.S. attorneys at the start of a new administration, both as interim and acting. The statutes upon which this decision is made are far too convoluted for me to try to explain them here, but the inability of the Trump administration to get nominees confirmed in a handful of states has led to litigation with the courts about whether the president or judges in the district get to select the acting U.S. attorney after a certain number of days has passed. No, it's a separation of powers thing, and any statute that Congress passed saying that judges have the right to appoint these people is unconstitutional. It's just the bottom line. The president gets to choose who prosecutes people, not judges. That's a fact. KPT says, how close are we to the goal now? I'm behind in the stream. We are $16 away from Bellavision and $66 away from adding an hour. Bombing a country is an act of war, Joe. There has been significant legal challenges resulting in decisions that went against the Trump administrations over persons named by AG Bondi to serve as acting U.S. attorney in the following federal districts: District of New Jersey, District of Nevada, Central District of California, Eastern District of Virginia, Northern District of New York. The senators for these 5 districts are Cory Booker and Andy Kim, Democrats, Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez Masto, Democrats, Adam Schiff and Alex Padilla, Democrat, Tim Kaine and Mark Warner, Democrat, Chuck Schumer and Kristen Gillibrand, Democrat. Shocking. The Trump administration has been able to confirm U.S. attorneys, meaning that it made it past Blue Slip in the Judiciary Committee in the following states. Florida, Idaho, all these ones. In addition, not including the states, so we're not going to go, these are like, plus D.C. and the Virgin Islands. There are nominees from the following states who have cleared the Judiciary Committee and the Blue Slip process and are still awaiting Senate confirmation. Maine, Arkansas, Wyoming, Texas, Illinois. That 2 lists above cover 28 states along with D.C. and the Virgin Islands, and D.C. and the Virgin Islands have no senators, so no one to obstruct the nominee with the Blue Slip process. Jim, check all platforms, please. Okay, Terry, sorry. Okay, nothing on Cash App. Nothing on PayPal. Nothing on Ko-Fi. Nothing on Super Tips. Let me see. Hold on. Nothing on Rumble. I don't know what platform I'm supposed to check. Wait, only go to locals? Okay. Locals. Nothing on locals. I don't know what platforms you're telling me to check. What platforms am I supposed to check? I checked everything. I got nothing. Showing nothing. I got 20 from Sunshine. Thank you, Sunshine. Wow. That means we got Bellavision. Hey, Bella's added for the evening. There you go. With that means we are now $46 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Tips on Feet Finder. I don't know what other things she's talking about. Please, Terry, if you donated somewhere else, tell me, because I don't see it anywhere. I've looked. I don't see it. I don't see anything anywhere. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't. Okay. And I would have got a notification if it came in on Ko-Fi or Super Tips, but I didn't get anything, and I looked. So, wasn't your donation? Okay, never mind. Bella would be the greatest Easter bunny. Yes, she was. So of the 28 states on the list, 25 voted for Trump in 2024. The exceptions being Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Illinois. Of those 25 that voted for Trump, 23 have 2 GOP senators. The exceptions are Michigan and Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's one Democrat is John Fetterman, who has been unique in his unwillingness to engage in petty partisanship to block Senate confirmation. Only 4 states with 2 Democrat senators have confirmed U.S. attorneys, meaning both senators returned blue slips. Michigan, Minnesota, New Hampshire, and Illinois. But they only account for 4 of the 94 U.S. attorneys across the country. Someone asked me to have you check. Okay. Oh, I don't. Hold on. I don't see anything on Twitch or Kick either. So, okay. Minnesota voted for Trump. The Somalis diluted the vote. Yeah, I agree. On the other hand, here are the states which no U.S. attorney nominees have cleared the Judiciary Committee, where there have been nominees with the 2 senators have not returned the blue slips. Alaska has not returned the blue slips. Hawaii, California, Washington, Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Oklahoma, Kentucky, Georgia, Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Vermont, and Wisconsin. So Kentucky has 2 Republican senators, Rand Paul and Mitch McConnell, and they haven't approved any U.S. attorneys. Wow. Tired of the Fetterman love. He votes against Trump over 90% of the time. Yeah, that's why he's a Democrat. Yeah, of course, Arizona, as does Massey. Yeah. Of those 22 states, 19 have 2 Democrat senators, and they can object to any nominee by simply not returning the blue slip. Is this all about hack nominees by the Trump White House? Those 19 states have 30 judicial districts out of the total of 94, nearly 1/3 of all the U.S. attorneys for the Trump administration charged with carrying out DOJ enforcement. Eastern District of California, Northern District, Southern District, Central District. Throw in the 2 in Kentucky, where Trump has a poor relationship with both GOP senators, McConnell and Paul, and his long-running battle with GOP Senator Lisa Murkowski from Alaska, and you have 33 of the 94 U.S. attorneys not yet confirmed. The demon rats seem to now be convinced that whatever the ultimate outcome, they prefer to simply not return the blue slips and let the district judges in the district appoint acting U.S. attorneys who can serve in that role until a Senate-confirmed nominee replaces them. In some of these districts, the district judges on the courts were overwhelmingly appointed by Joe Biden and Barack Obama. Look at that. New Jersey, 15 out of 17. Maryland, 9 out of 10. Connecticut, 6 out of 7. Washington, 7 out of 7. California, 14 out of 14. Eastern District of California, 6 out of 6. Southern District, 10 out of 12. The proportion of appointees is similar in most of the districts where no U.S. attorney has been confirmed. The obvious calculation is that the demon rat senators in those states prefer U.S. attorneys appointed by the overwhelming progressive judges in the courts that anyone the Trump administration would nominate. Yeah. So they simply refuse to return their blue slips, and the Trump nominees never escape the Judiciary Committee. I'm not sure I expect the situation to change between now and the midterm elections, so the Trump Justice Department will function with acting U.S. attorneys in nearly 1/3 of the districts appointed by liberal progressive judges appointed by Obama or Biden. If the Democrats capture the Senate, I don't think Chuck Schumer, if he's still majority leader, will allow any Trump nominee to be confirmed for any office. The Demon Rats have decided that crippling a duly elected president from the opposition party by refusing to confirm his nominees is a valid tactic to oppose a change in policies. I mean, what the fuck? We need this to change. And this is part of this problem is that the Republicans refuse to actually allow him to do recess appointments. Like, this is Thune thumbing Trump in the eye, sticking his thumb in his eye. Hey, Spuds, what's up? Great to see you. Hey, Tika, awesome seeing you, buddy. It's just sick, man. It really is. All right, on to the next news story here. We got Pete Hegseth fires the Biden-era Army Chief of Staff. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has reportedly fired Army Chief of Staff General Randy George. George served in a role under Biden's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin. We are grateful for his service, but it's time for a leadership change in the Army. Fox News also confirmed that Hegseth asked Randy George to step down and take retirement. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has asked, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth has asked General Randy to step down and take immediate retirement. One of the sources said Hegseth wants someone in a role who will implement President Trump and Hegseth's vision for the Army. George previously served as a senior military assistant to Secretary Lloyd Austin from 2021 and 2022 during the Biden administration. After decades of service, a career infantry officer and West Point graduate, George first served in the first Gulf War and more recent conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. Army Chief of Staff typically serves a 4-year term. George was nominated for the position by Biden and confirmed by the Senate in 2023, meaning he would typically have held the position until 2027. The current Vice Chief of Staff, Army General Christopher Leneuve, who was formerly Hegseth's military aide, will likely be considered as a replacement. He previously served as commanding general of the Army's 82nd Airborne Division from 2022 and 2023. Hegseth's decision to oust George comes as President Trump announced the Iran war is winding down. Yes, Thune is hurting Trump and what we voted for more than any rhinos combined. We're missing out on judges, AGs. That's damaging today and the future. Fuck him. Yes. George was a special kind of retard. Okay. Let's see what this says here. This says the man who canceled the U.S. Merchant Marine pre-positioned ship program is gone. Now, please find everyone left who cut Army Corps of Engineers, Seabees, and Army watercraft funding too. MPS is the most valuable asset for Marine expeditionary units. I still remember the 3 assigned to our AOR. They were the USNS Loomis MOH recipient Iwo Jima, the MOH awarded first over the wall in Incontinent War. Yeah, I mean, these people are just dumb. Dumb. Tonight, I want to provide an update on tremendous progress our warriors have made in Iran. Oh, this is the speech. This is a speech he gave. I think it was last night, right? Out with the Special George. Yeah. Did you guys see the speech that Trump gave yesterday? Last night, I think it was. I think it was last night. Yeah, U.S. Army Chief of Staff Randy George is fired immediately. Let's see.
Thanks to the progress we've made, I can say tonight that we are on track to complete all of America's military objectives shortly, very shortly. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong.
Well, this story we're going to cover later. I'm not going to ruin it now. Terrible story. Army Chief of Staff is retiring effective immediately. We wish him well in his retirement. George 61 was nominated by Joe Biden and confirmed by the Senate. He reportedly wanted someone in a role to implement the vision he and Trump have for the Army, which is right. Look at this. Dictator Mamdani has even his far left city council allies seeing red. He's flailing. Wow. We're grateful for his. You know what? I'm gonna move this. Grateful for his service. Heck says a former Fox News host. They always like to say this, a former Fox News host. Before he was in Fox News, he was an Army captain or major or something like that. So he also axed 3 War Department aides, Pentagon Senior Advisor Dan Caldwell, former Deputy Chief of Staff Darren Selnick, and former Chief of Staff to the Secretary of War Colin Carroll earlier this year after a bureaucratic turf war. George's ouster comes after Hegseth overruled the Army and lifted the suspension of 2 helicopter crews involved in a flyover stunt outside of Kid Rock's Tennessee home. Yeah, these guys flew past Kid Rock's house and just stopped and waved at him or whatever, and they were trying to suspend him. Yes, I want Republicans with ovaries and balls to vote through out of leadership. He said we're doing nothing but winning in Iran. Oh, I didn't catch it. Yeah, it was 2 Apaches or something like that. Damn, I'm still 10 minutes behind PayPal. Okay. All right. I don't see nothing on PayPal. KPT, I don't see anything on PayPal. I don't see anything on PayPal. I don't see anything. I don't see anything at all. So I don't know. I don't know if something's wrong. So no punishment, no investigation. Carry on, Patriots, Hexeth wrote on X following an early report that several crew members have been suspended after Kid Rock's post about the stunt went viral. Hexeth's decision to ask George to retire was not related to the helicopter incident. Oh, okay. And this just says, Hexeth boots Army Chief of Staff as Iran war intensifies. Removal of senior leadership in the military comes as the Trump administration faces intense domestic and international scrutiny over the Iran war. Hexeth also has a Harvard MBA. He's no dummy. Jim Somniak's fellow Americans, may I ask you to hit the like button for Jim? Show your patriotism. Or are you a thumbs up down communist? Upside down communist? Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. It's quite possible. We're grateful with service, but it's time for leadership to change in the Army. The reason for the ouster remains unclear, but it comes as though the U.S. has struggled to achieve its strategic objectives in the Iran war. Just wondering, do you think George Jr. was playing stupid? You're talking about George Jr. Kid Rock's house is a White House. Talking about George Bush, George W. Bush? Is that who you're talking about, George Jr.? All right, and we got this story. It says, FBI investigates China-linked hack of U.S. surveillance as major cyber incident. The FBI reportedly classified a China-linked effort to penetrate one of its surveillance systems this week as a major cyber incident, meaning it was significant risk to U.S. national security. The definition of a major incident damn Chinese balloon, yeah. His house is a replica of the White House. The definition of major incident was established by the Federal Information Security Modernization Act of 2014. The 2014 bill was an update to a 2002 law that created universal security standards for federal agencies. Hexeth was a freaking captain. It's funny how members of the media call him former Fox News hosts as if that what they do is in other networks is better. Yeah. Well, and you remember Chuck Hagel? Chuck Hagel was a fucking sergeant, and he was the Secretary of Defense. So I tell people to go fuck themselves. Chuck Hagel, a sergeant. But that was fine because he was a Democrat. It's always different when it's a D for Democrat. Yeah, you can go through university and get good grades with money, but is he stupid? Hexeth, I don't think he's stupid. I mean, the FBI notified Congress in early March that it was investigating suspicious activities at one of its sensitive internal computer networks, upon which the Bureau stored information related to wiretaps and other surveillance programs. The intrusion was first detected on February 17th, and by all accounts, the FBI cybersecurity team was able to shut it down fairly quickly. Calm down, Jim. I was a effing sergeant. No. I'm saying Chuck Hagel was a sergeant, became the Secretary of Defense. They didn't say boo about it. Now they're attacking a guy who was a captain. Like a captain knows a little bit more about running, doing stuff than a sergeant. I'm just saying. Maybe just a little bit more. Maybe not. I don't know. I mean, now if he was like a gunnery sergeant in the Marine Corps, that would be a different story because I'd say that's a big difference. In the media, he's always portrayed less than Homer. Yeah. The affected systems is unclassified and contains law enforcement sensitive information, including returns from legal process, such as pen registers, trap and trace, surveillance. Pen register and trap and trace techniques allow law enforcement agencies to access certain metadata from phones belonging to people they are investigating. The data collected by these techniques the data collected by these techniques would be of great interest to foreign espionage agencies because it would tell them who the FBI is investigating. The FBI told Congress the attackers got into their system by leveraging infrastructure from a commercial internet service provider. Third-party attack strategy has become increasingly popular. Ain't no captain, no more than me, Jim. I'm just joking. I know exactly what you meant. Okay. All right. But maybe my loathing is great and I can see him through a positive light. I don't want to be like Trump haters that would view with emotion. Well, Lenny Lou, just, keep an open mind. That's all. Maybe Flynn. Talk about General Flynn. The FBI did not report any further details about the intrusion. These suspicions were reinforced when the White House, NSA, cybersecurity, CISA joined the investigation. Politico observed that the investigation was announced. The FBI intrusion bore some resemblance to the massive hack of global telecommunications in 2024 that was attributed to a Chinese state cyber espionage group known as Salt Typhoon. See, that's the thing. If we know the Chinese is doing all this stuff, why are we not doing nothing to them? Shouldn't we be doing the same stuff to them? Oh, okay. It finally came through, KPT. It finally came through. I just got a notification. Finally came through. Oh, I should be there now. I forgot the final send. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Oh, thank you for the 10, KPT. Thank you so much. That means we are now $36 away, just $36 away from adding a first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Flynn just got some money for all the crap they put him through. Yeah, they just settled with him, I think, for like a couple $1 million or something. Or who said we're not doing the same to them? Maybe we are. I don't know. But maybe we shouldn't be. The Wall Street Journal quoted unnamed people familiar with the matter who said there was reason to believe the hackers affiliated with the Chinese government were responsible for the attack, but wouldn't elaborate any further. Former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI Cyber Division, Cynthia Kaiser, told Politico that, to the best of her knowledge, the FBI has not declared a major cyber incident since 2020. Thresholds under FISMA are quite high, and only a few agencies declare a major cyber incident every year. This incident is yet another stark reminder of the threat of sophisticated cyber adversaries like China has not gone away. In fact, it's growing more aggressive day by day, warned Senator Mark Warner, ranking Democrat on Senate Intelligence Committee. Well, it's a shame that the demon rats are keeping Department of Homeland Security underfunded. No. This is just a reminder of any unpatched vulnerability or any architectural weakness is going to be exploited by an adversary, added one unnamed U.S. official. On the bright side, the investigation of the FBI hack could reveal important information about China's cyber espionage activities, including strategies and techniques they would rather not have American security experts become aware of. Any information that helps track down Salt Typhoon, which is considered an active threat by FBI Cyber Division, would be particularly helpful. Really? Really? Same thing here. FBI notified Congress last week of a Chinese hack.
This Easter, we'll make...
No, Bob Evans. Oh, never mind. I didn't know this was going to be like not an actual person talking. FBI made a designation last week when it notified several members of Congress. It's unclear exactly what information was compromised. We saw that. We saw this. So let's do this now. We got this. So, Dictator Mamdani has even his far left NYC council allies seeing red. He's flailing. Or ICE just takes TSA. Trump signed an executive order to pay them. Yeah, but I think only the sworn law enforcement officers. I don't think the like administrative staff and stuff like that. Even the Reds are seeing red. Mayor Kami Mamdani has succeeded in at least one thing during his fresh-faced administration, infuriating everyone, including his typical ride-or-die lefty buds, over his bald-faced lie that the city council's budget plan cut services. Peeved city council members roundly ripped Mamdani after he used one of his slick social media videos Wednesday to call out Speaker Julie Menin by name and wrongly portray her budget proposal, an alternative to his doomsday vision, as slashing billions of dollars from city agencies. You're so glad that Bondi got her walking papers, Pam Grand? Well, a lot of people are. This is deeply misleading and potentially harmful. I thought these 4 years were going to be different, Councilman Kevin Riley of the Bronx said, and obviously disappointed Mamdani backer posted on X. Councilwoman Virginia Maloney of Manhattan also served up a blistering rebuttal of Mamdani's assertions. I know math is hard, but council finance team did the work digging into the details to find real solutions. The mayor's proposed city budget is a whopping $127 billion. The city's not broke, we're just badly managed, and we can't balance this budget responsibly without putting our long-term fiscal health at risk. What's it say? That executive order pay for TSA, I appreciate him doing it. Sounds illegal to me. Watch them say he will get impeached for it if they take the House. Well, someone was talking about suing him, so vote in radical and it's 3 times more. Yeah. The furious backlash led the thin-skinned mayor to then fire off irked texts to council members complaining about the critical social media posts. A source, wow, what a fucking tyrant dictator. How dare you criticize me? I'm the leader. Even the socialists aren't backing the mayor. That Virginia Maloney tweet really got under his skin. The speaker's press conference about the alternative budget wasn't really attacking him, and then he instantly puts out a tweet and then drops a video of him sitting behind the desk like a dictator. And no matter what Trump does, they will impeach him. Yeah. A council insider added of Mamdani, he's lost the council. He's flailing. He even texted one member to complain about their tweets. It's a lie. He's a liar. The insider said about Mamdani's head-scratching contention that the city council plan would slash city services. The brouhaha erupted as Menin and the city council members released their official response earlier Wednesday to Mamdani's $127 billion proposed 2027 budget. Had to be twice as bad for him because a woman challenged him. Oh, yeah, I'm sure he wants to just go throw rocks at her, stone her, or something like that, like he'd do at his native country. China is pissed off for the price of oil. They're getting crushed. No more cheap Iran fuel. Oh, yeah. The alternative spending plan argued Mamdani's projected $5.4 billion budget shortfall could be bridged with a mix of re-estimated revenues, savings, and creative funding sources, and without resorting to his honor's preferred method of taxing the rich. Even before Menin's released the alternative proposal, Mamdani's fellow traveler with the city's demon rat Socialists of America launched a coordinated attack against her. Yes. Bella does have pink paws. Yes, she does. And if her proposal was adopted, it would result in slashing billions of dollars from agency budgets, and working New Yorkers would pay the price, he said as he solemnly sat behind a desk in a video. The mayor's video retort, which was viewed 2.4 million times, baffled and infuriated city council members of all political persuasions. A council source said Mamdani risked burning bridges with lawmakers over standard disagreements during budget negotiations. Speaker Menin did her job, and the mayor responded with a wild personal attack, and that's going to affect his relationship with the entire council moving forward. The council rose up to defend its leader and the budget proposal. Councilwoman Jen Gutierrez, the leader of the council's progressive caucus, angrily shot down fellow lefty Mamdani's assertion that Menin's budget cut services. Slashing services? Absolutely not. I've seen what it looks like under the last administration. This isn't that. There are no cuts to services. There is waste, and we should be real about it. You wonder if Mamdani is central casting to wake up New Yorkers? Remember how he visited the White House? I don't know, man. Gutierrez's blunt response was reposted by the council's majority leader, Sean Abreu, another Mamdani ally who rebutted the mayor's lie about service cuts. The city council has not proposed to cut any service. We are fighting to protect programs that working families rely on. Let's pass a budget that delivers for New Yorkers. Socialist Council member Alexa Aviles, Tiffany Caban, and Safana Hanif and Chai Osei also issued a joint statement that pointedly didn't repeat his attacks against Menon, even as they backed his call to tax the rich. We appreciate that the council budget seeks creative solutions to closing the budget deficit. We are also encouraged that the mayor and speaker are both working towards a balanced budget that maintains essential programs. I've always liked him, and now I like him even more. I'm sure he does a lot of good things for people with all that money. Who are we talking about? It is the city council's responsibility to weigh every possible solution and to close the budget deficit we're facing. I have been in a room of many budget discussions, and I know the city council and the mayor ultimately share the goal of opposing any service cuts. That's what you put a fucking commie in there. What do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? You put a commie in. All right. This is another big news story. NASA's Artemis 2 liftoff on a historic mission around the moon. Jim, do you think we'll leave NATO? Germany's AFD said we should leave. The air bases in Italy denied access to the runways. At this point, European left and right look the same. From what I understand, Italy had a gripe because we did not even ask permission. We just started doing stuff without even saying anything to them. That's what's going on with them. As far as the AFD wanting us out, I want us out. I don't think we should have troops in Germany. We should pull all our troops out of Europe. Let them sort it out themselves. Woot, NASA, someday we will be able to land on the moon. Yeah, someday. Someday. They didn't think Trump could beat Kamala. We showed them. Yeah. We were talking Kid Rock. Okay. You took a video of the Artemis from your home. My kids were blown away. All I saw was it looked like a giant ball. That's what I saw. It looked like a giant ball. I don't know what I was seeing. If the women have synced and are at the time of the month, you could not pay me to fly to the moon with them. Fly me to the moon, let me sing among the stars. Let's see here. Wow, this is a long-ass video.
Which very closely together.
Houston takes over. Information.
Oh, yeah, CNN tried saying this was the first black astronaut. It's not.
Travel astronauts for Halloween.
2 minutes.
Extend that hold.
Purge initiations verified.
Integrity and nominal Mika.
Traveling more than.
I don't understand. Why is it taking the...
Coming up in just a few seconds, we're going to get that thrust vector control actuator test. This is a gimbling of the engines.
Why is it, what the fuck is going on? Why is it jumping like that? I don't want to watch 2 minutes of this. First black to fly to the moon, not in space, but it's CNN, so. Imagine sitting in a diaper for 10 days. I don't think they're in a diaper for 10 days, right? They have a machine that's like a vacuum that they suck the pee out and stuff like that.
There are the 4 RS-25s.
Yeah, if the Save America gets passed, yeah. Jim has taste in music. Thank you.
Shuttle parts.
I read an article today that Portland, 1 out of every 5 storefronts on Congress Street is vacant. The city council is requiring building owners to put approved artwork in the windows to beautify. I would share the video, but it has my location enabled due to my dumb answer. Oh, no problem.
Now we're going to start moving the power.
We're stationed at Moody Air Force Base. You love Valdosta? Oh, yeah, Valdosta is real nice, man. Nice place.
Ground power away and now going to battery power.
Do I think NATO's time is numbered? Yes, I do. Dated a girl from Valdosta, drove from Fox Stewart to see the crazy woman. They fixed the shitter, so no Pampers for them. Well, it broke, but they fixed it. Okay.
At T-minus 1 minute and 30 seconds. Right now, The 4-person Artemis 2 crew is 248,000 miles away from the moon. And if all goes well, they will fly by it in 6 days.
What is this thing going? Like 24,000 miles an hour or something like that?
All right, there's the rocket's core stage, which houses 3 flight computers, is now on its own power.
I just wanted to see the launch. I don't know.
There's no more hold time because there's no more margin on these batteries. So we would have to recycle back to T-minus 10 to recharge if we had a hold.
They are training on a docking mission now. Oh my God. Why do they got to do that creepy stuff up there? 2 guys docking 25,000 an hour. That's what I thought, like 25,000 an hour.
Right now, the rocket does not know what the T0 is, but coming up at T-minus 33 seconds, control shifts from the ground launch sequencer to the rocket's onboard autonomous launch sequencer. Or
Joe Kent, I don't know what's up with Joe Kent. I really don't.
But honor any holds.
I've heard a lot of weird things about him. He's CIA, so.
Houston will take control of the rocket, and my colleague Gary Jordan will take over commentary.
GLS, go for area left.
Great.
Why don't they use UFOs? Yeah, why don't they use
4
UFOs?
brave explorers ready to ride the most powerful rocket
Still have PTSD from Challenger?
NASA has ever launched.
I'm trying to remember. What was it? Was it the?
And here we go.
What was the first one? The Columbia?
9,
The first one that blew up.
8, 7, RS-25 engines lit.
I was in school. Was that 84? Was that Challenger? That wasn't Challenger, right? That was the other one, though. The Challenger was the one that blew up.
The crew of Artemis 2 now bound for the moon. Humanity's
Question of the
next great
century.
voyage begins.
It looked pretty from your home. You're on the Gulf, so maybe that was it. Yeah, it just looked like a giant. I just saw like a giant ball. 17,000 miles per hour up, 25,000 mile per hour reentry. Because Columbia, I thought it was the Columbia. Don't worry, Jim. Their spacecraft had issues with their Microsoft update. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Yeah, it was like 84, right, or 86, the one that blew up, the first one that blew up over a cheap part or something like that. No, that.
System core stage. Integrity, 3 miles in altitude. Traveling more than 1,200 miles.
Columbia was 2003. Columbia, where they burned a power. No, there was one when I was in. Challenger was in 86. My cousin was born that day. Columbia was the second to blow up. Okay. For some reason I thought the Challenger was. Would Mark Rubert have you on his show? I don't know. I don't know if Mark Rubert would have me on his show. I'd love to go on his show. 86 was Challenger. Okay. For some reason, Challenger was 86. I was in school. We were watching it, and they sent us home when it blew up. They're like, "That's it. Everybody go home." Challenger was the launch while Reagan was president. Columbia was the re-entry over Texas. Okay. Challenger had the teacher. That's what I thought. You remember 5th grade? It was. I was in school. I don't remember what grade it was, but they sent us home. Everybody was watching it. They just said, like, everybody go home. Everybody go home. The first shuttle successfully lifted off is Columbia. Okay. First one was due to O-rings. Yeah.
1 minute 50 seconds of mission elapsed time. Standing by for main engine throttle down to 85%. Ahead of solid rocket booster separation expected at the 2-minute 9-second mark.
You were in the parking lot of your high school watching it on a TV, on a mini TV with some friends. Yeah, no, I was in school. I was in grammar school, like elementary school, and they sent us all home.
Main engines throttling up. Guidance converged.
All right, that was pretty cool. Watch, that was pretty cool. So, yeah, Cape Canaveral, Florida. Humanity's on its way back to the moon. NASA astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christian Koch, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen successfully launched from Florida's Kennedy Space Center at approximately 6:35 in their 10-day Artemis 2 mission. Like, shit, I'm old. Yeah. This marked the first crewed flight of both NASA's behemoth moon rocket called the Space Launch System and the Orion crew capsule. It'll be the first crewed test flight of Orion service module, which was provided by the European Space Agency and contains power, environmental controls, and propulsion. He says, I was at work. Everything came to a standstill. I've seen pics of the Challenger astronauts that make me wonder, though. You were 23 putting on makeup for work. You cried all day. Wow. Yeah, SpaceX knows how to do launch videos better. Oh, yes, they do. Oh, yes, they do. Let's see. There was something I wanted to pull up that someone showed. Where was it at? We'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. As the countdown expired, the rocket's 4 core stage engines and 2 solid booster rockets were lit, lifting the 4 astronauts beyond their home planet with 8.8 million pounds of thrust, 1 million pounds more than the Saturn V that came before it. Wow, so it's got 1 million more pounds of thrust. That's crazy. A great roar rose in volumes as it controlled explosions, pushed the vehicle into the Florida sky. In less than 60 seconds, the moonship was supersonic, and after just 8 minutes, the white solid rocket boosters and orange core stage burned all their fuel and fell back to Earth. The rocket's smaller single-engine upper stage will then assume responsibility and place the Orion spacecraft into a unique, elongated elliptical high-Earth orbit. I do want to point out one thing. Do you guys remember the movie Deep Impact? Right? The movie Deep Impact with Morgan Freeman was the president or something like that. And it was the meteor and all that stuff. And the girl found out about it. And Ellie, remember? ELE. And extinction level event. Remember? The name of that spaceship that they took off with was the Orion. Just saying. Just putting it out there. All right. That coincidence to me sends chills up my spine. Oh my God. A federal judge ruled that space liftoff is illegal. They must turn that ship around or face contempt. She worked for MSNBC. Yeah, the woman did work for MSNBC. Remember, you know the movie I'm talking about, right? Yeah. That spaceship that those people got on. Yeah, Armageddon did come out at the same time. Yes, they made 2 movies that were pretty much. You remember watching John Glenn on a black and white TV? I'm that old. Wow. All I'm saying, you remember the movie Deeper Impact. Oh my God. I think you were watching the wrong channel. It'll complete its job in a little more than 2 hours in the mission. So the orbit is gained by 2 burns of the upper stage. NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman and other leaders held a post-launch press conference calling the launch a success. However, there were some hiccups, a brief dropout in communications during a handover period, and an issue with setting up the toilet and opening valves on one of the water tanks were also noticed. Otherwise, things were going on track. That was a big excuse. Yeah. Richard Feynman found out the O-rings caused the Challenger tragedy. Shortly after that, the crew took manual control over the spacecraft to ensure they have full maneuverability and inform ground crews how the handling differs from simulator. They also use the upper stage as a target to demonstrate proximity operation for future missions, including docking with lunar landing spacecraft. Overall, guys, this flies very nicely. They will continue to check out their systems to ensure that their ship is good to go to the moon. In less than 24 hours, if mission control gives them the go-ahead, the Artemis 2 crew will begin the first 4 people to leave the Earth and fly around the moon since Apollo 17 in December 1972. We certainly been here before. We know the challenges ahead. We have a lot of checkouts to get through before translunar injection. And when all goes well, Artemis 2 will be moonbound. But he and his fellow NASA officials are holding all celebrations until they are reunited with the crew upon their splashdown 10 days from now in the Pacific Ocean. Very interesting. Let me see. There was another article here that I wanted to look at that we'll get to in a second. Okay. First, before we get to this next story about this, let's look at this. He says, we could have watched him land on the moon this week if it wasn't for white supremacy. Just remember that. Just remember. George Floyd could have landed on the moon. He could have got there powered by fentanyl. I can't breathe. There he is on the moon. He can't breathe. Some things never change. So I ran the numbers on reparations. After subtracting for crime, you actually... Oh no. Real talk. Anyway. So what is this mission all about? Dig them up and send them there. I think only one has actually spacewalked. I'm not remembering it the way y'all do. They were warned about the freezing temperatures and delayed it for a while, and then they went anyway. He's been clean and sober for a while now. Yeah, he's doing great. Hold on. Oh, hold on. This is something here. Let me refresh this. This is something like a thing saying what they're going to do here. Launches from Florida. Premium reports back to the moon what to know. 10-day mission. So this is basically what's going to happen here. Wow. That was a pretty good animation. Slingshot. Yeah, they do like a slingshot. They slingshot around the Earth to build speed, and then they slingshot around the moon to come back. That's the same thing they did with Apollo 8, allegedly. All right, let's just do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you think we ever went to the moon. Put a 2 in the chat if you think it's all bullshit. All right. For the first time in more than a half a century, people around the world can look up to the sky and know somewhere up there is a crew of astronauts that's on their way to the moon. They are NASA astronauts, Reed Wiseman, commander, Victor Glover, pilot, Christina Koch, mission specialist, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen. We got some 2s. Brian says 3 because I know thing. Okay, Michael says 420. So we got quite a bit of 2s. He says 1, 2. He thinks we went to the moon, but it's all bullshit. At 6:35 p.m., they charged off the launch pad at Kennedy Space Center aboard the largest spacecraft built to carry humans into deep space and atop the most powerful human-rated rocket NASA's ever constructed. Well, isn't SpaceX's rockets bigger though than this? Aren't they? The ones that they want to use to go to Mars. Their mission, Artemis 2, is a 10-day test flight around the moon and back. It's the first crewed flight of NASA's flagship Artemis campaign to return astronauts to the lunar surface. Victor Glover. I wonder if he's related to Danny Glover. You know, is he going to say, you know what he's going to do when he gets to the moon? He's going to say, I'm getting too old for this shit. I don't think it's fake. Okay. Now people will name their babies Artemis. Yeah. A1, A2, A1A, A2A. Lol. A1A, 2A, A2A. The ship that will go to Mars will be the largest thing ever built. That's what I thought. The flight plan is chock full of different tests. It's chock full of nuts. Check out scientific experiments and other tasks. But there's some major milestones the folks following along at home should look out for. The launch. Yes, the launch. The launch is very important. If they don't launch. Love rectangle in space. Yeah. I believe the risk and reward was too much. Not after seeing that tin bucket they claimed they came back and not plausible. Victor Glover had choice words for a reporter in a pre-flight interview. Lawrence Welk reference. Okay. Oh, man. Come on. Lawrence Welk. Sheesh. I hate it when no one gets my jokes. If NASA faked it in the 70s, how come the movies CGI taste suck, but those look perfect? Besides, Mythbusters proved it. Hey, right on, gal. What's up? How you doing? Hi, Jim. My sweet Bella. I will say something that makes me say that something went to the moon is because there are reflectors on the moon that you can bounce a laser off of, and it bounces back to you. There's reflectors to bounce lasers off for you to check the distance between the moon and the Earth. So somehow those got placed there. Keep those cards and letters coming, folks. That's right. The Orion crew capsule. Yes. NASA unveils plan for first nuclear-powered interplanetary spacecraft. Uh-oh. The reflectors on the moon? Yeah. Yeah. Also, Whitey was on the moon. Reflectors could be placed by remote probe? Sure. They landed reflectors on the moon? Yeah. Because Whitey's on the moon. You guys ever heard the song, Whitey's on the Moon? If we set up a base on the moon and launch a giant rocket to Mars from it, could it mess up the moon's orbit? I wonder how much force is involved. I don't know. Personally, I don't think. I don't know. Should we get into this? I think the moon is a space station. I think the moon is, because all science says the moon shouldn't be there. Shouldn't be there. It's hollow. Why is it hollow? I think the moon was a space station that somebody came to Earth on many moons ago. Anyone seen Iron Cross, the secret Nazi base on the moon? I know a man that lives on the moon. Me too. Who put the dogs on the moon? Who let the dogs out? It's cheese. Yes, it's cheese. It's cheese. So yeah, we read all this. It's the same story. Once in Earth orbit, approximately 3 hours and 24 minutes, Orion Space Service Module will separate for second stage. Manual test. Glover will be at the controls. I hope he doesn't go, I'm getting too old for this shit. That's a Lethal Weapon reference, people. Alice knows all about the moon. Ralph Center. Oh, that's right. I know a man in the moon. We sent chimpanzees to the moon. It rings like a bell. That's right. It rang like a bell for 23 hours. After they plunged a engine into it or something like that, a booster or something like rocket booster or something like that. All 4 crew members will have a part to play in the demonstration. It's a crew experience. Live video procedures expected to be available. So trans-lunar injection. So they're gonna turn the moon. They're gonna tune their moon trans. They're gonna inject trans into the moon. This is right here, right? Trans-lunar injection. So they're gonna transify the moon. They're going to inject it with trans. Charlie Sheen was right. It's semi-hollow. Now, this is what NASA calls the movement when a spacecraft flies beyond Earth's orbit. Hollow moon, less cheese, yeah. Lava tunnels, brah. Could be. I don't know, man. They're going to try to make the moon gay, yes. Yeah. Approximately 25 hours into the mission, with mission controls go ahead, the main engine of the Orion service module will fire. Orion, you're clear to fire. That's directly out of Deep Impact. Artemis 2 will accelerate to approximately 25,000 miles per hour, the velocity needed to escape Earth's gravity, and begin a 3-day journey to the moon. Aside from some course correction, this moon-bound engine burn will be the last major burn of the mission. The crew will be on a path called a free return trajectory. That means it will pass by the moon at the correct speed and distance to perform a truly out-of-this-world U-turn. Using free lunar gravity, Artemis 2 will essentially slingshot around the far side of the moon and head back to Earth without having to burn more fuel. The crew will witness a full solar eclipse. As the 4 astronauts cross the proverbial channel of deep space between the Earth and the moon, they will see their destination pass completely in front of the sun. Hansen said that he and his crew had just learned about this opportunity a little more than a week before launch, but praised NASA scientists for how they were able to rapidly prepare the astronauts to get the most data possible. Observations will be focused on confirming Apollo's reports of how the sun and magnetic fields can actually pick up and move lunar dust across the moon, as well as examining the sun's corona. The Orion spacecraft is powered by solar panels fixed on its service module, so being out of sunlight will put stress on the spacecraft's power and thermal systems. Howard Hu, manager of NASA's Orion program, told the Epoch Times the spacecraft will remain sufficiently powered throughout the event. Can't wait for the lunar calendar for everyone. Yes. Thank you. With that $2, that means we're now $34, just $34 away from adding an extra hour to the show. Thank you so much. That's rad. Yeah. Lunar flyby. Artemis 2 will enter the moon's gravity approximately 4 days into the mission and then enter its U-turn, enabling flyby around the far side of the moon more than 12 hours later. For anyone watching from home, the flyby will take place on April 6th. That is, if the crew is able to execute its translunar injection. The successful April 1st launch means the Wiseman, Glover, Cook, Hansen will set a new record for the farthest distance from the surface of the Earth reached by humans. 252,799 miles. That's 4,144 miles farther than previous record set by Apollo 13 on 1970. Wow. Mm-hmm. G. Sharkman says, to the moon and beyond, Alice. To infinity and beyond. They did the burn earlier today and on their way to the moon. Oh, are they? Okay, cool. Cool. All right, that means we are now $32 away, folks. Just $32 away with that last $2 from G Sharkman. You missed my super chat, Jim. What? Oh my God. Karen Manning. Bella's the most chill dog. Happy Easter, Jim. Thank you. Thank you so much, Karen. I don't know if I missed it or not. Let me do some math here. I got 20, 30, 34, 44, 46, 48, 50. That can't be right. Hold on. I got what? 20, 40, 50, 4, 56, 58. So it's at 60. I guess I did miss it. I'm sorry. So we're now $30 away. I did miss it. My apologies. My bad. I'm sorry, Karen. I did miss it. We're now $30 away from adding the first extra hour to the show. Well, no problem. Sorry about that. I forgot to carry the bun. Yeah. My bad. They will then pass behind the far side of the moon at a much greater distance from the lunar surface than the preceding Apollo missions. That perspective is expected to allow the astronauts to see part of the far side with human eyes for the first time. Wow. One of the sites they hope to see is the Oriental Basin. Oriental Basin. I don't know. I thought it would be Oriental Basin, but anyway. No one has ever seen the full crater on the far side of the moon, and so it would be really neat. I'm excited to have a look at it. It's just enormous, super complex, and you could stare at it for probably hours. If they are successful in reaching the lunar space, the 4-person crew will also set the record for the largest crew to fly around the moon. All previous Apollo missions had 3-person crews. Now that's cruel, the far side, yeah. Dark side of the moon. Rally time. 28, folks. $28 away from adding an hour to the show. Yes, Ghost Buds. Neuro says you can also donate to Jim over on Locals. Satala Consulting, LLC Locals. Yeah. No one has ever seen the full crater. Communication with the space station crews have several tasks scheduled during their cruise days. Through deep space before. After a lunar flyby, one of the tasks we'll be having is ship-to-ship call with astronauts aboard the International Space Station. It's not your ordinary space station. Oh, thank you. For $2, Brian Ogden. That means we are now 26 away, just $26 away. Thank you all so much. Oh, you know what else? I just want to point out too, I forgot to bring this up before, but if you're ever watching my videos, like after, on replay or anything like that, anytime, I guess there's some new feature on YouTube called Hype, that if you hype the video up, it supposedly helps. It gets other people to see it. So just keep that in mind. If you're ever watching a video of mine, like on a replay or a video or anything like that, and you want to do that hype feature, I guess it really, from what I understand, it actually helps. The more hype you get put up on a video, the more people get to see it, I guess. I don't know. Hey, new member. Right on, gal. Thank you. Thank you, right on, gal. That means that $4 means we are now just $22 away from adding the first additional hour to the show. Thank you so much. Or even after the show ends, there's a hype option. You may have to do it on your phone. You were being a moron. You're working on it. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Yes, welcome, right on, gal. Thank you so much. The goal is to have communications with Artemis 2 is under the moon's gravitational influence, marking the first time ship-to-ship communication is shared between a spacecraft in lunar space and Earth's orbit. Reentry and splashdown. Mission leaders anticipate that Artemis 2 will begin its reentry into Earth's atmosphere 9 days and 1 hour after liftoff. Separated from its service module and falling backward with its heat shield facing home, the Orion capsule integrity will reach its top speed of the entire mission. That could be as fast as 39 times the speed of sound, or roughly 28,900 miles an hour. Charlie says, great program. What's the call-in number? I don't have. That was to Euro. Never mind. Okay. I don't have a call-in number. Sorry. I don't have a call-in number. Beginning its reentry at an altitude of 400,000 feet, Integrity will streak through the atmosphere like a comet and gently parachute into the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Southern California less than 15 minutes later. Chief Flight Director Emily Nelson, said that if the astronauts launch on April 1st, they will splash down at roughly 5 p.m. on April 10th, but the actual return time will ultimately be determined by the trajectory taken. From December 1968 to December 1972, only 24 representatives of the human race made the journey from the Earth to the Moon. 3 of them were able to make the journey twice. Don't think Jim does call-ins. No, I don't. Okay, you're great. Jim Somnick says, check on the listening mode. Have to be up early so the VA doctors can experiment on me. Well, be careful. Be careful, Joe. Joe, no matter what they tell you, okay, they're not supposed to stick anything in there. Hey, right on, gal, with another 2. Thank you so much. You got a very, very pretty smile. That means we're now just 20 away. Just 20 away from adding an extra hour to the show. Thank you so much. I don't remember Artemis 1. Me neither. He's working on it. I'm working on it. Now, more than 53 years later, the names of the next 4 representatives will be added to the list. Here's a glimpse of who they are. Commander Reed Wiseman. Well, he's a very wise man. Captain of the Navy, retired. Wow. Surprised Trump didn't offer to send Mark Kelly to the moon. He's a retired Navy captain with decades of experience. He joined NASA and is the 20th astronaut candidate class of 2009. He's a Baltimore native. Baltimore native. NASA astronaut candidate class of 2013. Pilot Victor Glover. SpaceX crew. So he's been in SpaceX crew and stuff like that. ISS. Naval aviator test pilot. Well, that's awesome. Jim, what if I like it? Oh, well then, go for it then. Sorry. The first person of color to fly beyond low Earth orbit around the moon. Why do they have to do this? Seriously, why? Artemis 1, formerly Exploration Mission 1, was an uncrewed moon orbiting mission that launched on November 16, 2022. Okay. Mission Specialist Christina Koch. And Canadian Air Force Colonel Jeremy Hansen. He's got a butt on his chin. Butt chin. Makes it sound DEI-ish. He earned a spot. Yeah, I don't like that. I have color. I'm a peach. I don't like that. I don't like that they do that. The first Canadian and non-American to fly beyond low Earth orbit. We should have volunteered to send Justin Trudeau there. The demographic first will be joined by Glover, the first black man and a person of color to make the journey. What the hell? However, all the 3 crew members appreciate and are proud to make these milestones. Canada might not take them back. I used to call them Heine Chins as a kid. The Orlando VA takes good care of you. Well, that's good. He looks like Buzz Lightyear. Artemis 2 is a pathfinder of every crewed Artemis mission set to follow. The crew will have to demonstrate how to live and work inside the Orion capsule. This includes using exercise equipment and working as efficiently as possible while a crew member uses the exercise equipment as well as using the toilet, sleeping and setting up and stowing equipment. Wait a minute. So they're going to work out on equipment while using the toilet? Huh? He didn't either, Jim. Gave CNN D-bag his base thoughts. Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Will we make our 3-week Iran exit? Will the UK be able to handle Strait of Hormuz? My personal opinion, no and no. Gives a new meaning to the word workout. Yeah, pedal and poo. Push it out, shove it out, way out. I remember a show called Pigs in Space. That is some multitasking, definitely. Oh, look, they got a thing. They're all going to be hanging out with the aliens on the moon. Short for a virtual astronaut tissue analog response, Avatar. So they have a program called Avatar that has thumb-sized chips of organ cells that can be flown aboard other missions to learn how astronauts' different organ tissues, such as those in the brain, heart, and liver, will respond to environmental stressors. So we have a program called the Avatar that takes human cells and does weird stuff to them in space. This has to be a simulation we're living in, folks. I don't get it. I know. It's like, this is all shit out of movies. It really is. And that Avatar was a movie. I hope we're forgotten. If we are forgotten, then Artemis has been successful. Mana mana. Yeah, they're pushing believability, Jim. They are. That landing will prelude a decades-long international endeavor to establish a surface base near the lunar South Pole that would eventually be equipped with nuclear power and capable of supporting continuous human presence. And that base will be a jumping point to Mars and in the outer solar system. But everything begins with Artemis 2, a mission whose success, according to this commander, will ultimately be measured by its forgetfulness. It's CGI, man. No one's interested. All right. All right. Fidel Castro's daughter says regime change in Cuba is overdue. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Artemis 2 blasts off her moon mission and glorious return to golden age of space exploration. Now my mouse. All right, so now I know you guys might have heard some of this stuff, but I didn't do a show yesterday, so here we go. John Sauer spars with Justice Jackson over illegals giving birth in the U.S. during Supreme Court's oral arguments on birthright citizenship. John Sauer, the Justice Department Solicitor General, appeared before the Supreme Court on Wednesday to argue President Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. I mean, the public in general isn't interested. Some are. I mean, the people got uninterested with the Apollo missions. If it wasn't for Apollo 13 almost, not making it back, I mean, that kind of reinvigorated the people who actually cared then. How did that end up, the birthright citizenship thing? Unfortunately, I listened to the oral arguments. I don't think it went well. I'm just saying it seemed like too many too many people that we would think would be on the right side of it are like, oh, but what about, like, Amy Coney Barrett started talking about foundlings. Like, well, what would this do to foundlings? How would this handle foundlings? Like we have an epidemic of foundlings these days. We don't have an epidemic of babies being born and nobody knows who the mother is. We don't. That's why we have, like, you drop them off at, you know, fire departments and all this stuff. Hold on, I got to grab another drink. It'll only take a second. It says, we watched Apollo 11 at school. I was 7 or 8, thought it was the coolest thing. I'm old enough to remember Apollo 11 got a lot of attention, but not the rest, with the exception of 13. Yeah. Like Apollo 11 was very powerful, very important, very popular, important. And nobody really seemed to care until there was a problem. Until, Houston, we have a problem. Yeah, right on girls. After Bronca's analysis, I'm a little more optimistic. Okay. I'm interested in Birthright because we're going to end up with a bunch of Chinese citizens overtaking our country. Between them and the Islamic commies, we're toast because people are stupid. Yes, 100%. 100%. I don't know. Honestly, I think I'm worried about Gorsuch. I'm worried about Roberts. I'm worried about Amy Coney Barrett. I really am. I'm worried about I don't know. I think Kavanaugh, I think Alito, and I think Clarence Thomas are all going to say, of course, this makes sense. But I honestly, my honest opinion is I think they're going to punt and go, well, this is up to Congress. If Congress wants to stop this, Congress could stop this. Why can't we just deport all these people? They won't let us. ACB has been such a freaking disappointment. Yeah. Total disappointment. Total disappointment. Was at work for Challenger. The president also attended Supreme Court's oral arguments. The majority of the Supreme Court appeared skeptical of President Trump's attempt to end birthright citizenship. He's not ending birthright citizenship. He's ending it for people that shouldn't get it. President Trump last year asked the Supreme Court to end birthright citizenship. The Trump administration asked the Supreme Court on Friday to review the constitutionality of President Trump's executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship, pushing the issue back before the justice for the second time this year. Like, that was a super nice way to say I'm old as dirt. Oh. Mm-hmm. The lower court's decision invalidated a policy of prime importance to the president and his administration. Those decisions confer without lawful justification the privilege of American citizenship on hundreds of thousands of unqualified people. Several federal judges have blocked Trump's birthright citizenship executive order. Jim, is that AG1 drink? I don't know what you mean by AG1. Kittens born in an oven are not called biscuits. That's right. No, it's just a. Sorry. It's a Snapple tea with lemon tea. I don't know. According to President Trump's order, the 14th Amendment is being misinterpreted by the left to give citizenship to anchor babies. She says, for the record, I'm super happy to be old as dirt and a cancer survivor. Well, that's awesome. Right on, gal. Right on, gal. It's a policy of the United States that no department or agency of the United States government shall issue documents recognizing the United States citizenship or accept documents issued by state, local, or other governments or authorities purporting to recognize United States citizenship to persons when that person's mother was unlawfully present in the United States and the person's father was not a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident, or when the person's mother's presence in the United States was lawful but temporary and that person's father was not a United States citizen or lawful permanent resident. I mean, I think this makes perfect sense. It really does. I don't understand why this is a problem. I really don't. It's not like a magic thing that you just step across the border, spit out a kid. It's just, I mean, we have upwards of 1 million Chinese people that have U.S. citizenship because of this crap. Yeah, the 14th Amendment was never interpreted to extend citizenship universally to everyone born within the U.S. The 14th Amendment has always excluded from birthright citizenship persons who were born in the United States but not subject to jurisdiction thereof. This is all going to come down to how they claim what that phrase means. If it was up to like Sotomayor, it would just mean, oh, well, we could charge them with a crime, so that means they're subject to our jurisdiction. It's like, no, that's not what it means, lady. Not at all. Not at all. Born here and then take it back to China, that's not American. No, it's not. On Wednesday, Solicitor Sauer sparred with Justice Jackson over illegal aliens giving birth in the U.S. No other country allows this. This is suicide for the United States. So are we bringing pregnant women for depositions, Justice Jackson asks? No. As I stated earlier, the executive order turns on the lawfulness of the status. So if you give birth to a baby in a hospital, it gets the birth certificate in the system. There's a computer system. So there's an opportunity. No opportunity then for the person to prove or say they're actually intended to stay in the United States. What? Doesn't matter if they intend to stay in the United States. They have no legal right to be here. Yeah. This is nuts. So they say, oh, we want to stay. So that makes their kid, I want to come and stay. So yeah, I want to come and live in your house. And just because I get in there and spit out a kid, then I'm entitled to the house. Is that what, that's what they're saying. She is so annoying. Yeah. There are companies in China who make shekels from birthright service. There's over 500 companies doing it in China. And I'm summarizing, the computer program automatically generates a social security number provided the system automatically checks the immigration status of the parents, which there are robust databases for that. It appears no different to the vast majority of birthing parents. Oh, I guess we could hear some of this.
Trisha Heaton looks great at 67. Here is her number one secret. Regular milk or oat milk?
Oh, regular. As there's currently a system where, for example, social security numbers are generated based on the birth certificate. They say this can still be, for the vast majority of instances, completely transparent. You will still get a...
No, not transparent. I'm just talking about the particulars, because now you say your rule turns on whether the person intended to stay in the United States. And I think Justice Barrett brought this up. So are we bringing pregnant women in for depositions? What are we doing to figure this out?
No, as I pointed out earlier, the executive order turns on lawfulness of status. So if you give birth to a baby in the hospital right now, it gets the birth certificate in the system. There's a computer system.
So there's no opportunity, there's apparently no opportunity then for the person to prove or to say that they actually intended to stay in the United States.
She's just ignoring the fucking answer. He said, no, it has nothing to do with what they intended to do. It has to do with their lawful status. She's just ignoring it because you're going to say, oh, okay. Yes, it's an invasion by the CCP while they're poisoning our citizens. Yeah, it is. Yeah. And KBT says, Irish neighbor had to fight 4 years to get his daughter's citizenship in Ireland. Her dad was still an Irish citizen. Yeah. She needs a good knock on the head so she can start to understand. Domicile or sovereign citizen. Yeah, it's crazy. She's like she ignores what he's saying to try to get her point across that she was fed.
Absolutely not. The opposite is true. Their opportunity to dispute if they think they were wrongly denied, which would only happen in a tiny minority of cases, is directly addressing that guidance.
After the fact, yes. After their baby has been denied citizenship, then we can go through the process.
Yes. And the way that, I'm summarizing because I'm not an expert in computers, but there's a computer program that currently automatically generates a social security number. SSA says, look, a social security number, non-citizens can have them if they have work authorization, so it doesn't prove citizenship. We'll give you a social security number, provided that the system automatically checks the immigration status of the parents, which there are robust databases for, and then it appears no different to the vast majority of birthing parents.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel.
She just was completely ignoring the damn, the question, and the answer. President Trump has slammed birthright citizenship after he left the Supreme Court. We are the only country in the world stupid enough to allow birthright citizenship. Yeah. Says Trump departs the Supreme Court shortly after hearing the arguments. President Trump on Wednesday became the first sitting U.S. president to attend a Supreme Court oral argument, observing proceedings in a high-stakes case involving his administration's efforts to end automatic birthright citizenship. The old law that was upheld for Kim some guy said he was a citizen because his parents were subject to our jurisdiction. Yes, his parents were permanent lawful residents. They had permanent domicile in the U.S. Permanent lawful resident. Jumanji Jackson is an idiot. Yeah. Fine, born here. Babies cannot leave the country until 18. Parents can just go home. I believe it's 14, 15, and 13. I don't know. She was appointed by a dementia-riddled man, so it tracks. Yeah. Can't expect much from Massimo Palmetto High School grad. After so many years in the military, I'm qualified to say that woman is retarded. Okay. He was accompanied by Attorney General Pam Bondi and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick. The case, Trump v. Barbara, concerns a January executive order Trump signed on his first day of his second term. The executive order seeks to deny automatic U.S. citizenship to children born in the U.S. to parents who are in the country unlawfully or on temporary visas. Lower courts have blocked the policy. Yeah, go figure. Finding it likely violates the 14th Amendment citizenship clause. But it doesn't. It doesn't. During more than 2-hour sessions, U.S. Solicitor John Sauer defended the administration's position. I wish he would have hammered it more about the birth tourism shit and that there's a million. He should have hammered it more. This is a national security issue. If we don't stop this, the country's done for. Yeah. She was born ignorant and has been losing ground since. Yeah. And the left is wigging out about him going, even though he's literally a dang chair for him. Yeah. Trump departed the courtroom shortly after ACL attorney Cecilia Wang began presenting arguments defending the long-standing interpretation. The justice did not acknowledge Trump's presence during the session. Shortly after returning to the White House, Trump shared his reaction on Truth Social. Miami Palmetto High, not the best in the 80s. Oh, Miami. Okay. I should have guessed that was Miami. I'm sorry. The Supreme Court is expected to issue its decision in the case by early summer. Legal observers noted that several justices, including members of the conservative majority, appeared skeptical of the administration's effort to reinterpret the 14th Amendment during the more than 2-hour session. Listen, I don't know what's going to happen. I know it needs to happen. Supreme Court seems skeptical. Trump administration faces tough questions from skeptical Supreme Court over quirky birthright citizenship arguments. It's not quirky. It's not quirky. That's a lie. We got this. Republican leaders unveil DHS funding plan to end the shutdown. It was 13, 14, 15 after Civil War for slavery. Okay. House Speaker Mike Johnson and Senate Majority Leader John the Traitor Thune announced a long-awaited plan that would fully fund Department of Homeland Security and end the historic partial shutdown. In a joint statement, the two sent to Epoch Times, Republican leaders outlined how lawmakers plan to move forward. After Trump's demanded they send a filibuster-proof bill to his desk by June 1st. Oh, what's up, Deke Ed? How's it going for $7.89? Thank you. Wow, so that means we are now, let me do some quick math here in my head here. All right, we'll call it $12. We're $12 away. I'm adding an extra hour to the show. MSM said Trump attended SCOTUS oral arguments in a public seating, not mentioning that there's a chair specifically for the POTUS. Yeah, that's what they do. Wait, once they leave, they'll have no records in our system. Anyone can come here with a birth certificate. Yeah. I fear it'll be a bad decision. Oh, yeah. In the coming days, Republicans in the House and Senate will be following through on the president's directive. And they're going to use the reconciliation progress. Here's the problem. They're wasting the fucking reconciliation on this. They should be using the reconciliation to do other stuff. Not this. Republicans believe they can refund DHS, which has been under a partial shutdown since mid-February. A statement suggested that Senator Lindsey Graham and Senate Budget Committee had initiated the process of developing a budget resolution that would fund ICE and Border Patrol for the next 3 years. Rant. Spud says, rally time. Thank you, Spuds. That means we are now $7 away. All right, 5. We're adding an extra hour to the show. I didn't even know they called them Reconstruction Amendments. Yeah. Brian Ogden with 2. Thank you, Brian Ogden. That means we are now 5 away. Just 5 away. Will we make it? Thank you so much, Brian. Bert, A10 Warthogs, yes. Hey, what's up, Dusky? How's it going, Dusky Dawn? Great to see you. The Republicans are wasting all their time on everything. They're sitting on their hands. Yeah, it's crazy what they're doing. I don't understand it. I really don't. This reconciliation stuff, you only could do it once a year. And it's like they're wasting it on this. They're wasting it on this when it should be another like big, beautiful bill type thing. Just saying. Dispute over ICE and CBP slowed DHS funding negotiations on Capitol Hill. Last week, the House rejected a Senate-passed bill that did not fund ICE and CBP. The House then passed a bill that would have entirely funded them for 60 days, but it was sent to the Senate after its members started a 2-week recess. What? If the Senate's on recess, why can't he do recess appointments? Trump said he hoped the Wednesday not would fund DHS which oversees agencies like ICE and CBP and Transportation Security Administration would involve a quick process. So I'm asking for the bill to be on my desk no later than June 1st. Well, June 1st is quite a long time away because today is April 2nd, 3rd, right? We still got May and then June. So you're talking about another 2 months. Another 2 months. That's crazy. All right. That's just crazy. Oh. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer declared victory. The Republicans caved. They've agreed to pass the Senate bill and fund DHS except for ICE and CBP. Of course he said that because he's a scum. He's literal scum. That's why his name is Chuck Schumer, because he's literal scum. We got this story, which I thought was kind of interesting. I got to do math again. What is going on? I'm losing track here. What is going on? We need two more. During Trump's first term, he was willing to sign DACA legislation if Chuck Schumer funded the wall. Nope. 20 more caravans imported by the Demon Rats. Yeah. Well, we need two more. I think it's. I just did the math in my head. I'm trying to do the math here because you guys are. I might have missed one. I got it as $5 left because I even rounded up on the guy's money. But let me look here. Hold on. I got 20, 40, 50, 52, 54, 56, 58, 60, 62, 64, 68, 70, 78, 80, 82, 84. I got 86. Was 5 and then Sharkman and Brian. It's the goal. Okay. I don't know. Now it's $2. I'm just adding up all the stuff. I can add it all up. I'm doing the math right here. I got 20, 40, 50, 60, I don't know, whatever. All right, whatever.
Tactical assessment. Red Chinese victory. Impossible. America will never fall to communist invasion. Communism is the very definition of failure.
Oh, thank you. So with that, we're gonna start a new goal for another hour. We're gonna put it at 100 away from a second hour. Yay, hubby's out of town tonight in the next hour. Spuds, what's up? No cash apps? I don't think so. Let me look. I don't think so. I'm just I don't know. I can't keep doing the math. I think it didn't hit it, but whatever. It's just a couple dollars if we didn't hit it anyway, so it's not a big deal. No, it's not a big deal. And with that, I'm awake again. Okay. Sorry, headphone users. Oh, sorry. Was that loud? Was that loud? Sorry. I turned it down. Jim, what's up? Oh, wait. Okay, never mind. So we hit it. We definitely got all right. So we got another 5 from Spuds. Sorry. I didn't see that. So yeah, we got another 5 from Spuds. Let's do it. So we definitely hit it. We definitely got it. I forgot about the 5 from Spuds. That was when I was doing my math. I didn't have this 5 from Spuds. So now I got to do more math. Hold on. That's 10. I'm gonna solve this right now. I'm gonna math it up here. So we got 10 from Spuds, 50, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, 74, 78, 80, 88, 90, 92, 94, 96. And then this is 101 and plus the 10. All right, so we're actually only $90. We're $90 away from a second hour. My bad. We're 90 away from a second hour. All right? Because we got 10 on cash at PayPal too. So we're 90 away from a second hour. All right? Did you, damn it, Brian? Be nice. Jim went to school in Chicago. I know. Thank you. You guys are all so generous. But thank you, Brian. I think now we're another 5, so I think now we're 85 away. Thank you, Brian. I'm not. I guess I got to go to a different stream and then calculator fund. Damn it. Yes. So now we're 85 away from a second additional hour. Thank you, Brian. Thank you so much. All right. Mm-hmm. Start another goal. Start another goal. Start another goal. 20. 1 hour. All right. Got another hour right there. All right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now you're just messing with Jim. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's because I was doing the math and adding them up, and then all of a sudden a new one would pop in, so I had to add that one in, and it was kept throwing me off. No refunds. Trump allied to testify over secret Venezuela lobbying effort. Huh. A top Washington lobbyist who is closely allied with President Trump testified in federal court that he immediately cut ties with former Congressman David Rivera when he learned in 2020 that Venezuela's government had awarded the Miami Republican a $50 million contract, shattering his belief that they were both working to hasten Nicolas Maduro's downfall. Don't tell me I'm not right. I don't know what that that means. Brian Ballard has been, along with Secretary of State Marco Rubio, a star witness at Rivera's trial in Miami on charges he secretly lobbied for Maduro's government without registering as a foreign agent. The trial has offered a glimpse into the prehistory of Maduro's ouster, involving covert lobbying by individuals close to Trump and Venezuela's leaders, and a billionaire who allegedly funneled embezzled oil money to the country's democratic opposition while also seeking partners for Maduro's efforts to ease U.S. sanctions. Yes, y'all remember the like button, please. Please remember the like button. Gotta. Please remember the like button. Gotta. Let's see. We got 104 likes, so we're doing pretty good on the likes there. We really are. Could be more, but could be less. First term charm offensive failed, but some of its players, including acting President Delcy Rodriguez and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, are now driving Trump's pledge to run Venezuela. Grandsons are number one in math because of Schoolhouse Rock, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Yeah. Prosecutors allege Rivera became a hired gun for Maduro after leaving Congress, leveraging his decades-old friendship with fellow Cuban-American Rubio and other Republican connections to push the White House to abandon its hard line on Venezuela. Rivera, 60, denies any wrongdoing, saying he worked as a business strategist for a U.S. affiliate of Venezuela's state-run oil company and therefore was exempt from the Foreign Agent Registration Act, or FARA. Really? Huh. After Ballard walked prosecutors through text messages, emails, and lobbying records showing how he came to distrust Rivera, the defense sought a mistrial on Tuesday, accusing prosecutors of improperly suggesting that Rivera tried to rope Ballard into the alleged conspiracy. Judge Melissa Damian denied the motion. Ballard has become friends with Rubio and Rivera decades earlier when he was building his lobbying practice, and the two were serving in the Florida legislature. Ballard partners later represented the Trump organization in Florida and then became a dominant player in Washington. By 2025, it was ranking in $88 million in fees, more than any other firm, according to the lobbying disclosure. Then I rage baiting 5 more. What? Nothing wrong, Jim. I knew the goal. Oh, okay. It could be worse. You could be on fire. It could be, right. I would be great if I could skate a figure 8. I won't be on fire and not a lake of fire, and facts are heaven is not the water, and much has happened. Trump's first term was only the beginning when Ballard says Rivera pitched him on representing Venezuela's opposition. Both men were known as stalwart opponents of the Venezuelan government, so anything we could do to help to end the Maduro regime would have been very much of interest to me. Moreover, Ballard was advising Rex Tillerson, Trump's first pick for Secretary of State, during the confirmation process, and relied on Rivera as a conduit to then Senator Rubio, who harbored concerns that the former ExxonMobil CEO's views on Venezuela. Rubio testified last week that he too felt betrayed by his friend. I'm just a bill, and I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Venezuela media magnate joins lobbying effort. Central to both Ballard and Rivera's interest in Venezuela was Raul Gorin, a media tycoon in Caracas, whose repeated attempts to court power players in Trump's Washington speaks to the hazards of foreign influence campaigns in U.S. politics. In 2018, Gorin would be indicted for allegedly bribing Venezuela's treasurer with yachts and show horses to get illicit currency exchange deals, but when Rivera introduced him to Ballard, the billionaire presented himself as a Trump admirer promoting democratic change. Yes, we need Congress to force Congress to watch how a bill becomes a law. The 3 men then flew on Gorin's jet to the Dominican Republic to meet with Venezuelan opposition leaders. Ballard also said he met at Gorin's mansion in Miami with Lilian Tintori, the wife of Maduro's most prominent jailed opponent at the time, Leopoldo Lopez. A few months later, Gorin's network, Global Vision, signed an $800,000 contract with Ballard's firm, seeking assistance expanding into the U.S. Ballard said he was reluctant, given stories that under Gorin, Global Vision had softened his coverage of Maduro, but he said he had persuaded after due diligence with Tintori's endorsement. Black Gold, Texas tea. So we loaded up the truck and moved to Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. I'm going to go swimming in the cement pond. She thought he was a good person, not a Maduro puppet. Ballard warns Venezuela work could violate foreign lobbying laws. Ballard said he quickly regretted the decision. He also testified that he hadn't known that a partner in his firm helped draft a letter Gorin wanted hand-delivered to Trump in 2017, promising businessman to businessman to devote every waking minute to successful resolution of the crisis in Venezuela. The letter never made it past the Secret Service. After news broke that Gorin was under federal investigation for money laundering, Ballard said he abruptly terminated his relationship. I finally said it's not worth it. Ballard never did sign up any Venezuelan opposition figures as clients. He offered to waive his fees, but his condition that advocacy work be publicly disclosed as required on Justice Department website was deemed too risky. He said Tintori feared it would anger Maduro and endanger her husband. Man, forgot about the figure 8. Meanwhile, after learning that Gorin was still involved and purporting to be helping Tintori financially, Ballard sent a text on February 13, 2017 to Rivera's co-defendant, former Rubio fundraiser Esther Neufer. Please make sure the people you are dealing with understand the serious nature of the FARA laws. 2 days later, Trump called for Lopez's release, posting a photo of himself with Tintori, Rubio, and Vice President Mike Pence in the Oval Office. Lopez, now exiled in Spain, said his wife never received any money from Gorin and accused Rivera of trying to falsely link him to the alleged conspiracy for which he's now on trial. He said that the day his wife visited the White House, masked and heavily armed military intelligence officials raided his cell. It's one of the worst raids I experienced in 4 years I was imprisoned. I don't find it humorous at all. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to Ballard, Rivera was trying to set up meetings for Rodriguez in New York, Caracas, Washington, and Dallas. Also involved was Rep. Pete Sessions. The Texas Republican tried to broker a meeting for Rodriguez with Exxon CEO and secretly traveled to Caracas for a meeting with Maduro organized by Gorin and Rivera. My best to your family, Sessions later penned below a letter to Maduro. The congressman is on the defense witness list. Rivera's lawyers also sought testimony from Wiles, who registered as one of Ballard's lobbyists for Global Vision, but the White House quashed it. This all stuff seems really slimy to me. Way too many people involved in this. Prosecutors allege Rivera's 3-month, $50 million consulting contract was really a cover as Venezuelan officials tried to persuade the Trump administration to normalize relations. Ballard testified that he first learned of it when Rivera was accused in 2020 lawsuit of failing to perform any work. When he called his old friends to express his shock, Rivera told him that the Trump administration was fully aware he was working with Maduro's opponents. Ballard said. Rivera also reminded Ballard of their meeting 3 years earlier in the Dominican Republic where he said the plot was hatched by Venezuelan opposition. So you're part of it too, Rivera texted, adding crying laugh emojis. Ballard was outraged and said he blocked Rivera's contact on his phone. I have nothing to do with this, David, he wrote in one final message. I don't find it humorous at all. Seems very slimy to me. It all does. It all does. We got this one. Far left activist pressures Providence, Rhode Island mayor to stop creation of mural honoring victim Irina Zerutska. Yeah, refineries do need to be rebuilt. Yes, they do. Far left activists in Providence, Rhode Island have pressured the mayor to halt the creation of a mural honoring the memory of Irina Zerutska, an illegal immigrant from Ukraine who was murdered by a repeat offender on a train in North Carolina. The mural was being painted on a wall next to a gay bar in the city. Okay, owners of the bar had no problem with it until leftists started claiming that the mural would be a far-right symbol. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley, a demon rat, caved to the activists immediately. This is also pathetic. What began as a memorial to a slain Ukrainian refugee has transformed into a political lightning rod in the creative capital, said Mayor Brett Smiley, now calling for the artwork's removal. Yeah, but the Floyd mural is still up, yeah. The mural, located on the exterior of Dark Lady, a prominent LGBT club downtown, remains incomplete as city officials and community members clash over its message and funding. The mayor's office confirmed Sunday that Smiley wants the mural of Irina Zerutska taken down. He later released the following statement. The murder of the individual depicted in the mural was a devastating tragedy, but the misguided, isolating intent of those funding the murals like this one and across the country is I continue to encourage our community to support local artists whose work brings us closer together rather than divides us. Well, how about Irina Zerutska? Was she brought together or divided? I mean, that guy brought her together with his knife, but she pretty much divided her from the rest of the living world. Artist Ian Gaudreau, who began working last week, told ABC 10 on Friday that he never intended for the tribute to be political. Some residents visiting the site over the weekend echoed that sentiment, urging the community to focus on the victim rather than the politics. I mean, this is exactly what goes on with the left. Like, oh, we can't talk about this crime because it's going to make certain people look bad.
Hey, it's Jack. So I'm here in Providence on Snow Street outside of the Dark Lady nightclub, and this mural here has been paused by the owners of the Dark Lady, which is a gay bar in downtown Providence. It depicts, partially, Irina Zerutska. No disrespect if I got the name wrong. We're actually here to honor her, as the intent of the mural was to honor her. But the work has now been stopped by the owners of the bar and the mayor here in Providence, Mayor Smiley, who we last saw as part of the horrific response to the Brown University shootings. Mayor Smiley has asked for the removal of the entire mural over the weekend. And what has happened basically is the folks that own the bar, which has got the rainbow flags on it and, you know, your typical gay bar, you know, if you've ever seen one. And these folks here, who self-describe themselves as Democrats, have run up against a far, far, far left, even more Democrats, farther left than most of your Democrats, who are offended by this mural because it's seen as a right-wing symbol, something that President Trump has spoke about, and this mural and many other similar type of memorials for Irina Zerutska across the country are funded in part by Elon Musk, who is, of course, the most terrible billionaire on the face of the planet, as everyone knows. And so the far left here in Providence has bullied the Democrats who own the gay bar, the regular Democrats who own the gay bar, into halting the project. And the mayor, who I believe is facing a challenge, Mayor Smiley, from the far left, Smiley is facing a challenge from the far left, has gone along with the far left. So this is the statement from the owners of the bar, known as the Dark Lady, here in downtown Providence. I will also, just as a point of information, let you know that in this area, within a block or two, there has to be 7 or 8 other murals that are as big or larger in this general vicinity. So here's a statement on Instagram from the Dark Lady owners, Randy and Buck. And it goes on, it's very, very lengthy, so we won't read everything, we'll just kind of skim it for you. Reached out to personally support everyone who's reached out with concerns and questions respectfully, blah, blah, blah. Apologetic for the chaos in the division this is brought to our community. Imagine a mural of a murder victim bringing chaos and division, but that's what the left stands for. Any of you know us personally, even for just 5 minutes, realize that the illicit attentions being portrayed here are completely false. In other words, they're being attacked by the far left. For decades, we have supported, protected, and served our community. That hasn't changed. It won't for us. Our record speaks for itself. In other words, they're defending themselves. They're answering to the far left. The mural on the building was created for one reason: remembrance. It honors Irina, a life taken too soon. It was never intended to be political. And what's now is deeply disappointing, the response concerning the memorial, which has been misunderstood, judged, and turned into something divisive. There have been numerous articles circulating regarding this. We want to be absolutely clear. We are Democrats. We do not support Donald Trump, his administration, or the politics of division, fear, and exclusion. Our values are progressive, rooted in inclusion, equality, and respect for all people. Again, this is the owners of the gay bar, Randy and Buck, who own this gay bar here. I guess it's called the Dark Lady. Hold on. So once they say all that, then the next day, which is late last week, they post a different update to their Instagram. The project is temporarily paused. We will be publicly releasing the final rendering of the mural for the true meaning to be understood. Thank you for all who have supported us. So now that you've seen the mural and you've all seen highly likely the horrific video from the trolley in North Carolina where Irina Zerutska was allegedly murdered by the man with the very, very long sheet. That's rap sheet for you to know. Very long sheet. History of mental health problems. A horrific, absolutely horrific killing. And again, you also saw the people on the train effectively ignore her at her moment of greatest need. And she died there in the train. Awful. Hungarian refugee. And this has spawned right-wing attacks against the criminal justice. You know the thing. Like, they just go on and on. And so this has now triggered the far left here in Providence, and the mayor is all in on this to have the mural removed. And I'll just pull it up here so you can see it. We're just basically in a parking lot. Oh, there's another mural across the street. I don't know if you can see that, but there's another mural across the street right there. And we're basically in a parking lot beside the mural. On the other side of this building is another mural of the ocean, which is quite nice. And they were on their way, I'd say maybe 3/4 of the way done with this mural. It's quite nice. It's a nice job. They're still working on the face. But now this work has been halted. This work has been halted, and you should see it's on some type of, well, lack of a better phrase, canvas. It's on some type of canvas, lack of a better phrase. I'm not an artist. I can barely draw a stick figure. And just to give you some perspective here, we'll walk down the street. This is the Dark Lady restaurant and bar here in downtown Providence. There's a lot of bars here in this sector of town. Dark Lady restaurant and bar.
Wow.
We'll just walk to the other side of the building so you can get
That's just crazy.
a perspective on the other mural. So murals are common around here. Some more murals over there. You can see them over that way, there, and even some more over there on those buildings. So it's kind of like an arts district. Murals very, very common here. And what basically you have is like French Revolution adjacent situation going on here, where you cannot get left enough. And even the mural depicting a murder victim is triggering to the far left. Disgusting. I'm John F. Gately.
Wow, that's crazy. That's just crazy, isn't it? That's just nuts. Yeah. That's just nuts. So yeah, Providence mayor calls for mural of refugee divisive after train stabbing. These people are just nuts. This is crazy. Yeah. Well, just gross. Just gross what's going on. It's just gross. Yeah. It says, killed once, erased twice. Demon Rat mayor orders removal of refugee victims mural. Providence mayor slammed the mural honoring her as divisive, and it does not represent Providence. While George Floyd Memorial statue stands at the courthouse steps. So they got a fucking statue of George Floyd at the courthouse steps. My painting of Irina Zerutska is being removed after the mayor has declared it divisive. The most single radicalizing moment of my life. Okay. Watching this.
Arrested over a dozen times and was released through no cash bail. Stood up and viciously slashed a knife through her neck and body. No one will ever forget. There were people on that train. No one will ever forget the expression of terror on Irina's face as she looked up at her attacker in the last seconds of her life. She died instantly. She had escaped a brutal war only to be slain by a hardened criminal, set free to kill in America, came in through open borders. Mrs. Zerutska, tonight I promise you we will ensure justice for your magnificent daughter, Irina.
none of the fucking demon rats bothered to stand for this woman either. Greg McNeely says, rest in peace, David Dorn. He's the man who was murdered. He was, I think, a retired police captain that was murdered in St. Louis or something like that. Or he was murdered in Minnesota or St. Louis or somewhere like that from BLM riots, murdered him. He was a security guard. Keith Ellison should be in, I believe this is supposed to say Gitmo, not Gowl, for allowing the viral video shape the BLM narratives and deliberately delaying the peace cams of Kirby resisting arrest fentanyl OD. Yeah. Yep. Isn't it the demon rats who say all cops are bastards? Yes, it is. It is them. It is them. Her long blonde hair is there in the outline of her beautiful features, but her identity is being erased by political sadists who do not want Americans to remember the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee who was stabbed to death on a light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina. Irina fled a war zone, but it's more dangerous for her to ride public transportation home from her job at pizzeria in her work uniform at 9:45 p.m. on a Friday in a blue city. Providence Mayor Brett Smiley this week slammed the mural as divisive. It says it doesn't represent Portland. His equally callous Demon Rat stable, Rhode Island State Rep David Morales opined to a local NBC reporter that the artwork honoring Irina does not reflect the values of Providence. Jail, sorry. Oh, jail. I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you were saying Gitmo, and it's just like maybe I thought you were doing like talk to text, and it came out as Gale or something. I don't know. What values might those be? Values that excuse a cold-blooded slaughter of an innocent woman? Values that allow violent repeat felons to roam the streets? Values that defund police so we have no protection from psychopaths? Wow, this is crazy, man. This is just nuts. Just nuts. Just nuts. Just nuts. Just nuts. We got this story. Sword-wielding, massive two shits man arrested after posting multiple death threats against President Trump on Facebook. A massive two shits man is now in federal custody after allegedly posting multiple violent death threats against President Trump on Facebook. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, 45-year-old Andrew D. Emerald of Great Barrington was indicted on 8 federal counts of transmitting threatening communications after posting a series of messages between May and July 2025, calling for Trump's death. Wow. On July 3rd, Emerald wrote, I plan to go to D.C. with my sword to K. Trump and any domestic terrorist he emboldens I can. If they are eliminated by September, I'm going to do it. If they are September, I'm going to do it myself. What? This guy's a psycho. He wrote a separate post, which is why when I stick with the sword through Trump's whatever effing throat, I have every effing right, pulse by creation and ethically, actually legally right. Anyone who's not in the same place that I deserves to die with them. Oh my God, this guy's a psycho, man. You are all evil. I'm not going to allow them to exit any longer, you piece of ass Trump. I think your position as president protects you. It doesn't. I'm coming for you. Yeah, maniac versus maniac. It's crazy. More from the DOJ. On May 3rd, when I see that Trump wanted to put to death, and oh my God, this is crazy. And May 15th, all these threats. I don't want to keep reading them because someone's going to clip it and say I said it. The situation escalated dramatically when federal agents arrived at Emerald's residence in Great Barrington to execute the arrest warrant. According to the affidavit, goes on more, 15th is militia. Emerald then appeared armed with a long metallic sword. He reportedly told agents that they would have to shoot him. He barricaded himself inside before eventually surrendering. I mean, that's when you need to just do the, I'm your Huckleberry. Oh, I have a sword. You're going to have to shoot me. Okay. Just like, in the words of the late, great Sean Connery, who I think, Sean Connery dead? Just like a law to bring a knife to a gunfight. They bring a sword, you bring a gun. They send one of yours to the hospital, you send one of theirs to the morgue. That's the Chicago way. This is the sword. A large sword with a decorative blade. Emerald now faces 8 counts of interstate transmission of threatening communications. Emerald's home, huh? Yeah, ticket to Sean Connery, rest in peace. Is he dead? I think he's dead, right? He has pleaded not guilty and is currently being held without bail pending free trial. See, I don't even know if he's dead. See, oh, he died in 2020. Oh, my God. I didn't even realize it. Huh. Wow. Wow. He pleaded not guilty. Is currently being held without bail. Same from the New York Post. It says, massive two shits lunatic charged with threatening to kill President Trump. Hang him from the statue. This is crazy. This is crazy. Just some crazy stuff. Some crazy stuff. Let me do this. Do that. Let me do this. All right. Let's do this. Let's do some oldies but goodies. Let's jump into a little illegal alien crime. Damn it, Jim, have you ever been able to pronounce Havana on the Willamette? I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Sir Sean, dead a while. I didn't even realize. I thought he was, but I wasn't 100% sure. Man. Being a not hater made me strong. So this guy, he's on vacation. So he says he posts vacation, but he's taking a break for a couple of weeks. So this guy that we usually get all our stuff from, he's on vacation, but he's got some stuff here. So Fairfax County, Virginia. Wait, no, that's July. What's going on here? August 1st. What is going on? Oh, the two litigants get 5-year plea deals. Man charged with murder for random grocery store stabbing now on immigration detainer hold. Telling you it's the ratification of certain amendments. Okay.
Hey guys, and detectives say that this was a random act. They say that the suspect actually came up with the plan while hanging out at an area skate park. He then drove to the grocery store, randomly picked his victim, and stabbed the guy in the neck to death. This is the man Garland police say murdered a stranger for no apparent reason. He's 32-year-old Juan Pedro Reyes, a Garland resident.
Based on what we gathered in his statements to us, that evening he decided that he was going to hurt somebody. And so he chose that grocery store to go to. And then when he went there, he targeted the victim and he stabbed him.
The fatal encounter happened around 8 Friday night. According to police, Reyes drove to this Fiesta grocery store located off South First Street. This is a surveillance image of Reyes that was released by police. Investigators say Reyes was inside the store for several minutes before he simply walked up to the victim, identified as 39-year-old Frankie Arredondo Barrios, and stabbed him in the neck. Reyes left the store, went home, and reportedly confessed to his parents, who brought him to the Garland Police Department to turn himself in on Saturday.
Wow. That's crazy, right? That's just crazy. Mm-hmm. So he's accused this guy. Let's see what it says here. He's a white male. Juan Reyes, white male illegal alien stabbing people to death. What do you know? What do you know? You hate to see it. You hate to see it. Dallas County, Texas, he's been arrested for stabbing. Yeah, same guy, same story. New poll supporting deportation of criminal aliens up slightly, 77%. Support for deporting all illegal aliens is down 3 points, but is still a majority, 54. However, most want to see some ICE reforms. Okay. So Fayette County, Jorge Luis Martinez Olobo is accused of trapping a minor victim inside of his apartment and raping her. He has an immigration detainer hold. This is a definite wood chipper
Also new tonight,
situation.
a man is behind bars after police say he kidnapped and assaulted a child. Lexington officers responded to the 1300 block of Devonport Drive where they found a victim under 12 who had been assaulted. The child was taken to a local hospital. Police arrested 31-year-old Jorge Luis Martinez Ulloa. He faces multiple charges, including kidnapping a minor, first-degree strangulation, 2 counts of rape of a victim under 12, 2 counts of first-degree sodomy of a victim under 12, and 2 counts of first-degree sexual abuse of a victim under 12. He's being held in the Fayette County Detention Center. Also new tonight.
I will say, yeah, we need wood chippers. We need wood chippers. We need wood chippers. We're going to need more wood chippers. Man accused of fatal hit and run, now an immigration detainer hold. Oh, what do you know?
We are following new details tonight. A Knoxville man is now charged following a deadly hit and run crash that happened early this morning in Sevierville. Police tell us 34-year-old Enrique Estrada Martinez is now charged with leaving the scene of an accident following a death and driving without a license. Martinez is accused of hitting and killing Henry Smith, who was walking on Winfield Dunn Parkway near Westmount Road, then leaving the scene of the crash. Police arrested him today in Knoxville and later booked him in the Sevier County Jail. We are following new details.
Oh, that's horrible. Let me see where Bella went. Bella likes to leave now. She's over here doing a spin or something. Bella, what are you doing? Look at her. Bella, what are you doing? Bella, what are you doing? I think she's got to go out. I think she's got to go out. She's got to go outside. He looks white to you? Yeah, probably. Ass scratching. I think she's got to go out. Scratching her butt. Yeah, she's got to go outside. I don't know. I wish I had. Oh, you know what I do? I have a video to play. I do have a video to play. Let me do this. Uh-huh.
Good morning, folks. Welcome, observers. It is Thursday, April 2nd, 2026. We've got space weather. Solar storm levels are actually rising here 36 hours later than they thought they would. We've got earthquake news, an excellent examination of paleoclimate data that matches a pattern observers will recognize, but we are starting with the last 24 hours on our star. Coronal holes crossing, and then 2 plasma filaments erupted from the sun. See if you spot them here. We'll zoom in a moment. Neither of the eruptions are heading at Earth, one off the departing limb, other off the north and erupting further north. But they did ding the interplanetary magnetic field, and high-energy protons are surging to our planet, still at low levels below alert thresholds now. As for the solar wind, the plasma speed in the stream has surged upward. This is a coronal hole stream arriving about a day earlier than expected, and after NOAA had eliminated all solar storm warnings yesterday, the amplified KP index came in overnight, and we could go higher today. We're watching closely. Up next, this initially rang in at 7.8, downgraded to 7.4, but at that shallow of a depth, it's bad either way. Damage and at least 1 casualty have been reported in this event. We also had a 6-pointer in Peru, deep at the low velocity zone. Big blot echo there. Hopefully nothing bigger coming near the surface along the west coast of South America. Today's top science news is a look at major hydroclimate events over the last 36,000 years from a lake in China. And what's impressive is how well the transitions line up. 36,000 years ago, that was the Mono Lake magnetic excursion and pole shift. 30,000 years ago was Michoacan. 24,000 years ago was Lake Mungo, nailing the excursions. Now, 24,000 years ago was the last glacial maximum, and that area got buried. It was thawing out all the way until 4,000 years ago, right after the Holocene unseen temperature maximum straddling the excursion and magnetic pole shift of 6,000 years ago. Can't core without finding this cycle. Folks, it is April, so there are now 75 new spots open for the advanced Master the Disaster course. Links to the basic and advanced versions are below, and if you have taken the course online or in person with me, comment below, please. We greatly appreciate your support. We'll do this all again tomorrow, right here, but right now at 5:30 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.
Wow. That was perfect timing. That was perfect timing. You have a stalker? Been on Earth at my mom's house. Yeah. Sent up Artemis with crazy solar activity. Yeah, well, she needs to run a marathon. Yeah, she'll be all right. She'll be all right. She'll be all right. So, all I can trust is G won't let us get lost, so even this is fake, and end result could be. Could be. Could be. Could be. Let's see. Oh, here's this guy arrested for leaving the scene. Let's see. Another white male, Estrada Martinez Enrique, Estrada Martinez, another white male. Another one. Illegal alien from Nicaragua arrested for attempted murder in Wisconsin. Luis Antonio Sevilla Benavidez stabbed his mother 26 times with life-threatening injuries. Huh. Well, he looks like a happy boy, huh? An illegal alien is accused of murdering his 3-month-old baby daughter in Fairfax County, Virginia. It's the third illegal immigrant accused of murder in the recent weeks in Fairfax County. Huh.
Hey, it's Nick Minocqua, 7 News, sharing another sad story out of Fairfax County, Virginia. Yet another illegal immigrant was arrested for murdering someone. This man is accused of murdering his 3-month-old daughter. Police in Fairfax County have charged this man with second-degree murder and felony child abuse. My law enforcement sources tell me this man is in the country illegally. This is the third murder in recent weeks in Fairfax County by illegal immigrants. You might recall reporting from Monday, the man accused of repeatedly stabbing a man with a machete on Sunday and killed that man is in the country illegally. And weeks ago, an illegal immigrant named Abdul Jallo allegedly killed a single mother at a bus stop in Fairfax County. Her name was Stephanie Mentor. And Mentor's family has called on Fairfax County Commonwealth's Attorney Steve Descano, Sheriff Stacey Kincaid, Governor Abigail Spanberger, and Fairfax County Chair Jeff McKay to do more to keep residents in Fairfax County safe. This is a developing story. We'll bring you updates on air and online, WJLA.com.
Wow. This is crazy, right? This is what's going on. This is just crazy stuff. You know, Enrique Estrada Martinez has been arrested for leaving the scene of an accident involving death. Oh, this is the guy we saw, yeah, already. Another preventable murder. If Arlington County was not a sanctuary jurisdiction, this would have been reported 2 years ago. Look at this. 2 years ago, the murder suspect was charged in Arlington, Virginia for assault and battery. A female victim accused him of punching her and attempting to strangle her, but that case was dismissed by a judge. That's the one we just watched, right? It's the one we just watched, right?
Virginia. Law enforcement sources tell me that this man is in the country illegally. He's from Guatemala. He's 38 years old. Fairfax County police say they arrested this man on Sunday after they went into a home at Bailey's Crossroads in Fairfax County, where they found a man suffering from stab wounds to the upper body. That man was pronounced dead at the hospital. Now, this is one of 2 recent fatal stabbings in Fairfax County. You might recall last month that Stephanie...
all right. We did see this already. All right. Okay. Wow. Another immigrant has been arrested for murder. Santa Clara County releases so many criminal aliens they have 2 jails in the top 10 for not honoring detainers. Santa Clara County Jail. Look at that. Cook County Jail. Wow. Santa Clara County Jail, Elmwood. Cook County Jail is number 2 for releasing people without detainers. That's crazy. This is crazy. Santa Clara County illegal aliens Franquin Inestrosa Martinez and Grazon Jose Chernolis Maguena have been charged in the shooting death of a 24-year-old mother, which occurred in January. More on the immigration status. Was caught illegally entering the United States. He was arrested and removed. He was caught illegally re-entering a felony. Was removed the second time. He illegally entered a third time an unknown date. So this guy's a felon. Like, this guy's a felon for keep coming back in. You get kicked out and you come back in. It's a felony. This is nuts stuff, man. Nutso stuff. Oh, look at this. Pedophile legal alien from Honduras arrested in North Carolina for incest. According to an arrest report, he viciously raped his own daughter.
Marshals Service and Gastonia police arrest a man accused of incest and child sex crimes. Today, officers worked together to locate this man, Francisco Rosales Ortiz. Now let's show you a photo from the arrest. Ortiz is charged with 3 counts of incest, 3 counts of first-degree sexual exploitation of a child. Marshals Service and Gastonia.
I mean, what is going on? Roblox programmer arrested in New Orleans for possessing child rape pornography and importing a child sex doll. Now hit with 195 new charges. Raping animals. Roblox is a pedo mill. Must be dismantled. Roblox.
Possessing a child sex doll, 30-year-old Jamie Bourne is also charged with possession of child pornography. The doll was found when a parole officer carried out a compliance check at his home. He was on probation for assault. Officers say he admitted to buying the doll and the possession of the child porn. He reportedly told investigators that he's a programmer for Roblox. Attorney General Liz Murrell is suing that gaming platform, saying it fails to protect children from sex predators. Possessing a child sex doll.
Yeah, more wood chippers, definitely. Is this the same guy that we're talking about on Sean Ryan podcast, or is it another Roblox programmer that's just as evil and disgusting? Actually, now I think about it, it's a different guy because that guy's Irish and lives in Ireland. This is my office case. We will hold him accountable. I hope so. I hope so. Legal alien from Venezuela arrested for attempted murder on Long Island. Rugen Gayapo Ramirez attacked a man, stuck a rag in his mouth, and then slit his throat. Welcome to the sanctuary state of New York, where illegal alien crime permeates everything. I mean, come on. What is going on here? This is nuts. We saw this one. 3 Democrats backed illegal alien MS-13 gang members on trial in Las Vegas, charged with 11 murders. These killers went out hunting. One victim was stabbed 200 times. Because they don't want them deported, demon rats are officially the MS-13 party.
The notorious street gang MS-13. There's a high-profile federal trial going on right now here in Las Vegas. 3 MS-13 members are on trial here, accused of 11 killings in Nevada and California. Prosecutors say these gang members went out hunting for people to kill. This is a sketch from the Review Journal of those 3 members. At least some of them. We're showing them one by one here. We're told that one of the victims died after allegedly being stabbed, get this, more than 200 times. The notorious street gang MS-13.
The designated foreign terrorist organization Tren de Aragua robbed banks of $20 million last year through ATM jackpotting. The cost passed on to American consumers. The 93 illegal aliens arrested were all released into the U.S. by Joe Biden and the Demon Rats.
The FBI says that ATM jackpotting often happens at standalone ATMs and, in fact, often in rural areas. They say 700 ATMs have been hit just last year across the country to the tune of $20 million. They say that the hackers will basically pry open the face of the ATM, download malware onto the computer system, and tell it to spit out the cash. They say it's often done by an organized crime ring, and they say that they're taking advantage of some vulnerabilities vulnerabilities when sometimes ATMs haven't had their software updated.
So what happened was some of the software system is outdated. That allow malicious actors to open up the box to gain physical access.
Okay, I want to point out something. All right. We know our colleges are being infiltrated by Chinese spies. It's been happening everywhere. People have been testifying to it in Congress. The CCP is sending these people here. Is this professor one of them? I don't know. I'm just saying. Our schools are infiltrated with them. I don't know. There's a USB port inside that they plug into. Yeah. In Toledo, Ohio, they just steal tow trucks. I know they used to just use it like a tow truck. They would hook a chain around the ATM and just yank it and take it with them. Then they could get into it and get the money out at their leisure.
The computer and inject malicious message communications into the ATM machine, telling it to hand out cash.
The FBI has now charged 93 people that they say are part of the Tren de Aragua, or TDA, foreign terrorist organization from Venezuela, for a massive wave of ATM jackpotting across the country. Analysts say while banks lose millions of dollars to the crime, that cost can be passed on to consumers through higher insurance and operating costs.
Wow. Do I have any new articles on Iran? Not really. I mean, there was one, Trump basically, there was one article. A lot of my TAs in Portland were Chinese in the 90s. I had one article one article about the war, but I don't know. I mean, President Trump reveals Iran has asked for a ceasefire, but this one condition must be met before he considers it. We're not really getting a lot of information out of Iran, out of what's going on. In my opinion, my humble opinion, I would be thinking we were getting better information. Hey, Genome Editor, what's up? Just got home from work. Didn't listen and have to catch a couple hours sleep. I'll listen tomorrow during this section. No problem, buddy. Thank you for being here. How much money do they put into an ATM? Maybe don't put so much. They usually put, I think, anywhere between 10 and 20 grand in an ATM. Well, it's all right, even if you're old and gray. Yes, it's all right. You still have something to say at the end of the line. It's direct time. Redirect? Maybe. Someone need to be... Let's see who's out there. Let me see who's out there. Let me see who's live. And I'll raid over to another stream. Let's see here. Third Railify is live. That's about it. That's the only people I see live right now. That's the only people I see live is Third Railify. So I guess that's who you guys are going to get redirected to. Oops. Why, are we past the time? No, we still got 10 minutes left to go, Brian. We've still got 10 minutes left to go. We still got 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes. What if U.S. president gets a $250 million legal donation from Israel first billionaire, then next year pushes the Greater Israel Project to warp speed? I don't know, man. Yes. Chemo whatever says, drop the like and we'll hype. Hype, everyone. Hype, dude. Hype. Good logic on vacation this week for Easter? No, for Passover. Let's not talk about Havana on the Willamette. Because the dragon went down, you're trying to act like it's me. What? What are you talking about? The devil went down to High Holy Days. Yeah, the devil went down to Georgia. He's looking for a soul to steal. He was in a bind. He's out of time. He's looking to make a deal. Yeah. On Wednesday, President Trump took to Truth Social to deliver some promising news. Iran's new president just asked for America for a ceasefire to end the fighting. Trump said he's considering the proposal, but has one condition. They have to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, which the nation closed last month. Otherwise, the bombings will continue until morale improves. The announcement comes just hours before Trump is scheduled to address the country on the war. Spiritual, like more. Holy times. Iran's new regime president much less radicalized and far more intelligent than his predecessors. PBD had a guest that said Israel likely killed Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens is doing a good job. I wonder if he's trustworthy. The guest? Listen, Candace Owens is a fucking lunatic. Anybody who believes anything Candace Owens says, I feel sorry for you. I really do. She's fucking, she's never been on the right at all, ever. She's always been a leftist. She's always been she'll go anywhere that she thinks she's going to make money and say whatever it is. That's what she's doing now. She's decided that this is going to make her money. That's it. That's who she is. Sorry. I mean, that's who she is. Why would, because how could somebody who has these blatant, like these views she has now, how did she work at the Daily Wire for so long? Oh, because they were paying her. Hormuz is considered to be one of the most critical oil choke points. Yes. According to U.S. Energy information, it accounts for more than 35% of all the oil. Yeah, never go full Candace. At least she ain't selling golden sneakers. Them golden sneakers, man. Well, don't hold back. Them golden sneakers, let me tell you something. Those were a great investment. Those things are worth 3 times what they were when they were first sold. So, I don't know. I mean, you used to like her. Candace has always been an opportunist. She got famous because she was canceled in her right-wing doxing website thing. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Richard Weiner is his name, a European economic guy. Oh, golden sneakers. Yeah, Trump sold golden sneakers. They were very limited edition gold Trump sneakers. They're worth 3 times what he sold them for now if you want to sell them on the secondary market. So they were a great investment. Whoever wants them. We ain't going to be there much longer. We obliterated the shit out of them right now, Trump said. All right. All right. Got this story out of New York, which I saw it earlier. I was gonna mention it. He sold Trump steaks. Yeah, he sold Trump steaks. That didn't work out too well. He sells everything. Actually, a lot of those things that that people talk shit about wasn't him actually doing it. He licensed his name. He licensed his name because until he ran for president, Trump's name was gold everywhere. Everyone wanted Trump. So, Mamdani's New York. A masked man kills 7-month-old baby in a stroller in broad daylight. Broad daylight. 7-month-old baby killed. G Sharkman, holy cow, you don't wear them. You probably take toys out of their packaging too, savage. Yeah. Are they comfortable? No. You don't wear them. He doesn't have to license his name. He does license his name. He does, though. He always has. Trump. There's tons of buildings that have licensed his name to put on it to call himself Trump Tower or something like that. Different things. Trump Estates, Trump this and that. But it was a racist baby. Maybe it was a racist baby. Maybe it was a colonizing baby. I don't know. Walking down the streets can be deadly in Mayor Zoran Mamdani's New York City. On Wednesday, a 7-month-old child was shot to death as her mother pushed her in a stroller down a Brooklyn street. Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. New York, it is that kind of place. Jim takes all the candy out of the plastic eggs. What? No, I don't. Old New York, yeah. On Wednesday, a 7-month-old child was shot to death as her mother pushed her in a stroller. At 1 p.m., the 1 p.m. shooting took place when 2 men on a moped zoomed down the street and a masked passenger fired shots into passersby. Now, I'm going to tell you, all these moped crimes in New York, like 90% of them, 95% of them are Venezuelan gang members. They know this, that are being shielded and protected by New York. Yeah, wanted for homicide. A baby was shot and killed near Moore Street on Humboldt Street. NYPD is looking for 2 males who fled on a moped. Can't really make out what they are in there, but one bullet struck the baby, killing her. The moped continued on until it struck a car, sending its occupants flying. One person, a 21-year-old man, was taken into custody. The second escaped. After gunshots, her parents pushed the child to a nearby bodega where they saw the girl was drenched in her own blood. Like, the people who did this, there shouldn't even be a trial. There shouldn't even be a trial. I'm sorry. And jelly beans, Reagan style. Yeah. Moped gangs. Yeah, moped gangs. There will never be, this will never be justice for that child? No. They have golf cart gangs in the villages? Yeah. Here they are crashing. I don't know. They look of a Hispanic origin. That's all I'll say. They look, well, you know, some kind of, maybe from Venezuela. Could be Tren de Aragua. Could be MS-13. Could be. Could be. Could be. 88 folded gap when the USS Navy Will Rogers accidentally shot down an Iranian passenger jet in the Strait of Hormuz. Iran-Iraq war was over the next month. Above my pay grade. Maybe. Whitish. You think they're whitish? Okay. They look a little crispy. Yeah. A great addition for America. Yeah, these guys are awesome, right? Awesome addition. Yeah. Yeah, definitely white males. Definitely. Definitely. They're probably WASPs. They're probably, sons of the American Revolution. This is a terrible day in our city, a tragedy that truly shocks the conscience. I can't imagine the pain and suffering and grief that now carry what's unspeakable, NYPD Commissioner Jessica Tisch said. The child's mother, Liana Charles Moore, said she thought her family was safe, then realized what had happened. I was hugging my son, and when I looked to my left, my daughter was just lying there. She was shot in the head. She was just bleeding. It was just too much. And they have the very strict gun laws in New York City. Yeah, didn't they realize that area was a gun-free zone, that they weren't allowed to have guns there? The moment the distraught mother realized her baby had been shot dead by gunmen. Witnesses say the tragedy happened in an instant. Where is New York? New York is in New York. It's, north, East Coast, close to Canada. And no Al Sharpton. Weird. Yeah, where's Al Sharpton? Should be over there protesting. I was in the supermarket coming out with my sandwich. I heard a commotion and a shot. Once you hear shots in the air, you duck. I saw a girl on the floor with her baby. Witness would only give her name as Miss Jones, said the witness the end of the tragedy. The killers were two men on a moped, one driving, one riding behind him was the shooter. It's the MO of the Venezuelan gangs. Oh, what do you know? New York is the new third world country. Gone, baby, gone, yeah. I'll bet they won't like a mural of this baby either. Probably not. Yeah, New York has its head up their asses. And like Mamdani, we cannot accept this violence as normal. Well, then get rid of the illegal aliens committing the fucking crimes, dude. I heard somebody say, my baby. She was just like, say my baby. Oh my God. She was trying to tell her baby to wake up, telling the baby to wake up. The police came and told the mother she went crazy. She lost it. The last thing I heard her say, no. She was screaming, no, I can't believe it. WABC reported that the 21-year-old suspect in custody was wanted on an unrelated domestic violence-related robbery, and that the police believe he was affiliated with a gang. No shit, Sherlock. File that under no shit, Sherlock. He's affiliated with a gang. Police have launched a manhunt for the other suspect. This is like, I hate to end on a story like this, but this is brutally disgusting. It really is. Shit like this has to stop, man. Lots of kids getting killed in gang drive-bys all the time. Ignoring this is nothing new for legacy media. It's happening more and more, man. It's happening more and more. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody who was here tonight. I really appreciate it. Please remember to hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It helps. Hitting the like button, hyping the channel really helps. Tomorrow is Friday. There will be a show tomorrow. It will be an early show. I'm going to make every effort to get rated by Robert Gouveia at about 7 p.m.-ish. So I'm going to start early. And who knows? I mean, we could go hours tomorrow night. We could go 3 hours, 4 hours, 5, 6, 8, as long as you guys want. It's going to be an early start, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's see how it works. Let's see how it goes. I want to thank you all for being here and ask you to please come back tomorrow for Jim to tell you some news.